1 second. I forgot to get music. Hi, everyone. Hi, Violet the Game Theorist. That's me. Hold on 1 second. I forgot to get music. Hold on. I had Fallout old-timey music all queued up and everything. Me. Radio. Hold on. Yes. During thunderstorm? I don't want to put you guys to sleep. Hold on. Thunderstorm. Okay, there we go. No! Sorry, I got an ad. Hi, everyone. Hi. We're starting off hot. Welcome in. Happy Sunday, guys. Hi. Are you ready to yap about the Fallout show? I sure am. Yeah, this is... Okay. All right, let me get the music. I don't like yapping into silence. One moment. One moment. Here we are. Oh. That needs to be behind everything. Ah. Behind, I said. Behind. Uh-oh. There we go. All right. Can you hear that? Hey, everybody. Ruff and Tuff. My name is Vylett Moonheart, and I'm your Wolf Knight of the Eternal Dusk, here to protect you no matter what. And today, we are discussing the Fallout TV show. Welcome in, everybody. Hi, happy Sunday. You can hear every cricket. Perfect. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Redeems aren't on. Sorry. You got scammed. Hi, everyone. Hi. I got to sleep in today. Whoa, I was so sleepy this morning. I don't know about you guys, but Sunday is such a sleepy day for me. I got to sleep in. It was really nice. I had a hard time getting out of bed. Which explains why I'm a couple minutes late. Sorry about that, hotties. I was catching up on some much needed sleep. I appreciate that. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Hi. Thank you for the hydrate. What the heck? Thank you. Ah, good old water. Yummy. Hi guys. Hi. Let's say, before we get started, let's say hi to everybody. Oh my gosh, Knight, thank you for the super. Thank you for the 5. God bless the Enclave. God bless America. Wrong. Incorrect. Welcome in. Hi. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. Let's say hi to everybody before we get started. Hello, Stursky. Hello, Steph. Hello, Ta. Hello, Mr. Shrek. Hello, Krasy. Hello, Sa. Hello, T-Mike. Hello, Kieran. Hello, Lemuru. Hello, Steven. Hello, Dad. Welcome in. Hello, Ta. Hello, Knight. Hello, Maslow. Welcome. Hello, Jack. Hello, Soli. Welcome in. Hi, Darren. Irashaimase. Hi. I'm still saying irashaimase from the Zatsu we had earlier, the Izakaya Zatsu. I'm still like irashaimase. I just keep wanting to say it because it's so fun to say. Hi, Mr. Uncle. Welcome in, guys. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, Fart. How are we today? Hi, David. Hi, Chunky. Welcome in. Hi, Capic. Hello. Hi, Patriotic. How are you? Good to see you again. Hi, everyone. Minasan konnichiwa. Hi, Stream Elements. Get out of my chat, Stream Elements. Hello, Bull Greeter. Hi, Furnace. Hi, Soul Striker. Hi, Sid. Hi, Steven. Welcome in, guys. Hi, who did I miss? I know there's somebody I missed. Hi, Nano. Hi, Milk Tea. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen the second season, if you haven't seen the first or second season, please leave immediately if you care about spoilers, because we will be discussing the overarching plot, mostly of season 2, because I've forgotten season 1. But yeah, please, if you don't want to be spoiled, please leave now, because this is a discussion. Milk Tea, hello, welcome in. Hi, it's good to see you. Hello. Hi, Lynn. Yap. Yeah, it's yapping time. Hi, Bormal. Hi, everyone. Hi, freaking Wolfie. Hello, Kent. How are you today? Hi, guys. Happy Sunday. Hi. I got to go to the wolf store today. I have to tell you a story. I have a story from the wolf store. Hold on. Hi, Guardian. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Krasy, thank you for being first. I really appreciate that. Over on the purple site. Hello, Mako. Hello, Oathbreaker. Hello, Kay. Hello, Milk Tea. Hello, Bormal. Hello, Patriotic. You saw the new Resident Evil? Yes, I did. Everybody's playing the Resident Evil game. I'm not, though. I'm not interested in playing it. I am watching several of my friends play it right now, and that's all I really need. I'm not really a Resident Evil girl. And I probably never will be. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Imperachix. Welcome in. It's good to see you guys. Hi, Kishi. Hello. Hi, Mango. Hi, Anubis. Happy Sunday. Hi, Sogito. Hi, Otosan. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to flashbang you. I'm sorry. Hi, Barchan. Thank you for the first time chat. Welcome in. Hello, Synth. Hello, Basement. Hi, 626. Welcome in. Happy weekend, everybody. I hope your weekend was restful. I hope you got a little chance to take a nappy, perhaps. Hello, Rusco. Hello, Invincible. Hello, Soul Striker. Hi, Flightless. How are you? Hi, Fake. Hi, guys. Hi, Captain BA. Thank you for the first K. I appreciate that. Hi, everybody. Hey. Okay, so let me tell you my little story before we get started. So at the Wolf grocery store today, I went to the Wolf grocery store, and there was a child somewhere. It's a very short story. Don't worry. There was a child somewhere in the store who was just yelling toot. The child was just yelling toot over and over again at the top of their lungs. Which was really funny. Hi, Reggie, welcome in. He was just going toot, 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 toot. And obviously his parents were just, you know, letting him say it so that he wouldn't, because you know, kids, the more reaction they get, the more they'll do it. So they're just trying not to react straight face. Yeah, the boy who cried toot, exactly. He was just yelling toot. Were they a train? No, it wasn't like toot, toot. It was like he was saying the fard word. You know what I mean? Toot, toot, toot. And he didn't go make friends? Well, considering he's probably like at least 20 years younger than me, no. Hi, Maximus, welcome in. Hi, everybody. How are you today? Hi. Yeah, definitely a mood shouting toot in the Wolf grocery store. Sorry, that was me. I was being a bird. He wanted a Tootsie Roll. Maybe he was saying toot and it's the new funny. No, it was definitely toot. It was toot. He was saying toot the way a child would say a word. You know, kids get that. They get that voice that they know they shouldn't be saying the word. Like, they get this, like, hee 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 voice. When they say something like damn or like hell, and you know, they like he. He was saying toot the same way with like the same voice of a kid who knows they're gonna get in trouble but keeps doing it anyway. Sounded like you had some shared interest. No, actually, we don't have any shared interest at all. Thomas was confused that he was a little kid in the grocery store today. Ah, yes, Thomas the tank engine. You guys, when we were talking about trains that one time, you guys know so much about Thomas the tank engine. I was really like surprised. Sorry, my mouth is catching up with my brain. I haven't spoken to anybody today. Hi. Yeah, you guys knew a lot about Thomas the Tank. I didn't realize Thomas the Tank Engine was so popular. It makes sense, though. It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, where you can hear the smug smile, kind of. Hi, Bessichu. Welcome in. Hi, guys. Hi. Oh, I got a snack. I got a treat at the... I finally got to the Wolf store, and I bought myself a little treat. It's a chocolate bar. I might go get some while we're yapping. I got myself a little chocolate bar for wolves only. It's stuffed with caribou meat. It's really good. I'm really excited to eat it. Thank you for the stream streak, Best 50. Holy moly. Thomas was my favorite thing in kindergarten. Ah, Thomas is one of the OG acoustic interests. When Thomas is sick, does he go to a doctor or... Oh, I couldn't see that. Or a mechanic. Well, he's a train, right? So it's got to be a mechanic. He's not a person. He's like possessed. A spirit has possessed the train. But his body is still, you know what I mean? His body is still a train. It's like if you're sick, do you go to a psychic or do you go to the doctor? You go to the doctor because it's your physical. You know what I mean? Usually, anyway. Hi, Manto. It'll upset your tummy. Yeah, but it's worth it. Welcome in, Manto. Hi, Olaf. I hope you guys are going to have a fun yap. I'm going to skip because I haven't watched the show yet. I'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, Olaf. Hi. Thanks for saying hi. Be safe out there, okay? Maybe it runs on Cars logic and he's fleshy inside. That's disgusting. What? He goes to the steamworks. You go to the mechanic, ... Do you? He goes to the train graveyard. Hey! I don't want to think about Thomas the Tank Engine dying, all right? I don't want to think. It's Sunday, guys. Can we not talk about Thomas the Tank Engine dying? That's a little too sad. Thank you for the stream streak, Manto. 7. Wow, a whole week. Thank you. Thomas is so epic, they hired a member of the Beatles to narrate. Oh, is it narrated by one of the Beatles? Interesting. Anyway, hi, guys. Hi. I like Thomas the Stank Engine. Wow. Wow. I see we're getting a head start on the whole having... inflammatory opinions thing. Was it Ringo? Ah, Thomas is based on a real locomotive. Really? Huh. Ringo and George Carlin. Oh, wow. All I can think of is that Skyrim mod that replaces all the dragons with Thomas. Yeah, that's where I know Thomas from, mostly. I think when I was very little, I remember seeing like a book or two about Thomas. But he wasn't like really popular. Thomas is going to the metal yard. Gotta recycle to save the planet. Hi, Renji. Welcome in. Thomas, the dank engine. No, no, no. No, no, no. Thomas would never do that. Okay, so what else happened? What else? Oh, I have a surprise for you guys, but that's gonna be at the end of the app session. I have a surprise for you. So at the end of the app actually, you know what? No, you have to get punished first. You have to get punished by listening to me yap about my opinions about the Fallout show. I'm not gonna show it to you early. I'm not gonna show it to you early. You're gonna have to sit here and listen to me spout my opinions for like 2 hours about the Fallout show before you get any sort of treat, okay? I like surprises. Okay, good, because I've got a pretty cool one that I want to show you guys today. I finished it. It's a project I finished. What's the difference between these two? Oh, do we have a double emote? Uh-oh, sorry about that. Hey, I just like yelling, all right? Yeah, vibey like suffer, precisely. Hi, Stanley, welcome in. You had a lot of smoke coming out of that engine. Yeah, because it's coal. He's a coal engine. I alternate 2 whole hours of yap. I mean, I'm guesstimating it's probably going to be 2 hours, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows how much we have to talk about, you know? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to get straight into it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my Fallout show yapping. It's good to have you. Nice to see you. I'm going to put a disclaimer on the screen. No, not Jillian. That's not the disclaimer I wanted. Oops. These are my opinions. Okay, and then you know that image of the woman that's like, that's my opinion. I'm gonna put an image of her up. You guys know which one we're talking about, right? Yeah. Yeah, perfect. That's my opinion. So everyone knows. Actually, is there an image of her where she gets... Yeah, there we go. This is the one I like better. This is the one I know. It's the one where she's like a bit... Okay, perfect. Hold on. Yeah, an important disclaimer. Exactly. I don't want people thinking I'm going around like saying the truth. Anyway, that's my opinion. It's the that's my opinion lady. She's gonna be up there. Just to let people know that this is my opinion, and if you don't like it, you can get out. This is my opinion. We're gonna discuss, we're gonna have discussions, and we're gonna talk about how my opinion's right, and that's pretty much it. There we go. She's just sort of hiding up there now. Yeah, she's so beautiful. Bye, John. We'll see you tomorrow for Daggerfall. Goodbye. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. All right, so these are my opinions. Perfect. Yes, these are my opinions. Okay, perfect. Boys' onion. No, not wrong opinions. Right opinions. These are objective facts, and if you find yourself disagreeing, please seek medical help. I never said that. You guys said that. Okay, so... let's get warmed up here. Fallout, baby. Okay, so I have an image for you. Behold. Behold. Let's start. I'm gonna start you off easy today, okay? I'm gonna start you off easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're gonna throw you baby curveballs about the show. First things first. Okay. So, if you don't, I'm not gonna explain the plot of the show. If you're here for an explanation of the plot of the show, I'm not going to be giving you an explanation of the show itself. I can give you a very, very loose plot line that's very broad. So basically, in Fallout, there's a girl named Lucy, and she's forced out of her vault, and she has to find her dad. That's the entire plot. That's the plot of Season 1, and that's the plot of Season 2, and I'm pretty sure, well, it's not going to be the plot of Season 3 anymore. Maybe, we don't know. But it was definitely the main crux of Season 1 and 2. So obviously, the creators of the Fallout show and the Fallout studio, Bethesda, worked together to sort of hone in on a very strong character arc, which is finding your dad, right? Like leaving the vault and finding your dad who went missing. It's the same story as Fallout 3, right? Fallout 3 is a very compelling game in and of itself because the impetus that the character has to go find their dad is pretty big, but it also allows for a lot of freedom in between, right? Like finding dad narratively, if we look at this from a plot perspective, from a writer's perspective, or a game designer's perspective, the plot conceit of I have to go find my dad, don't know where he is really convenient. Because you can write pretty much anything into that, right? You can be like, she has to find her dad, so she visited a bottle cap factory and she found one of his shoes. Or like she found a guy who saw him, you know what I mean? The typical searching for blank is a very broad story beat that allows the character to have a purpose while also allowing them to wander a heck of a lot, right? You can wander. Yeah, it's an excuse to explore, precisely. No video essay stream. No, I'll do a video essay someday. But not this one. This is just a yap with you guys. So, yeah, I cooked up a PowerPoint for you guys. Aren't you grateful? I did this 5 seconds before I fell asleep last night. I was really tired. Yesterday was a pretty busy day. So I apologize if the slides are awful. So if we're looking at it from a plot perspective, I can see why the writers of the show decided to choose the going after the dad motivation for Lucy. It's a very strong motivation. We all kind of resonate with the idea of a missing dad, right? Like even the people who don't have a dad in their life can still, if you're friends with your dad, right? It's like, oh, well, if my dad went missing, of course I would go search for him, you know? Maybe you have some familial duty, you know, to your father. It's like, even though you might not like your father, you still have familial duty to go find him. Dads in general, missing dads, and finding your dad is a very big, how do we put this? Literary device. It's like huge. It's like a whole thing. Finding mom is also equally as used, but I feel like finding dad, especially in video games, tends to be a bit more leaned on. Anyway, so it's really cool that they chose that as Lucy's main motivation. Yeah, dad left for the milk. This TED Talk is awesome. There's no TED here. My name's Vylett. Look down below the video. Look down below. It's right there, buddy. Anyway. My name's not Ted. I don't know why you guys keep saying that. Okay, there we go. Sorry, that was bugging me. Okay. No, not Ted Moonheart. I looked for my dad too if he was Dale Cooper. Yeah, that's a really good point. We'll get to that in a second. But Lucy's father is played by Kyle MacLachlan, which some of you may recognize from Twin Peaks. Actually, you know what? Let me get Kyle MacLachlan. Twin Peaks. Very iconic guy. Especially if you were watching TV during the 90s. If you were watching any sort of TV during the 90s, you knew about this fella. Hold on. Everything is a WebP file because the world is trying to sabotage me. Hold on. So one of the big things that got me excited when I first heard that they were making a Fallout show was that Kyle MacLachlan of Twin Peaks fame, also known as Dale Cooper in Twin Peaks, was going to be Lucy's dad. So this is a young Kyle MacLachlan. I love Twin Peaks. I watched it way past the 90s, I watched it after it was popular, not before, but after it was popular. And it's a mystifying show. It's a really strange show, but it's a cult classic and it's good. You guys should watch Twin Peaks. It's a David Lynch, probably in my opinion, one of his greatest works ever. I think the Dune movie's not that great compared to Twin Peaks. But yeah, Twin Peaks is great. So Kyle MacLachlan is the main character in Twin Peaks. He is Lucy's dad. Yeah, it's really interesting. That they got him on board. And so that was one of the reasons why I was excited, because I loved him in Twin Peaks. He's also been in a lot of other stuff. I don't want to play down how much other stuff he's been in. He's been in a lot of other things. He's a prolific actor. And for TV, you can't get a bigger name pretty much than Kyle MacLachlan, because there's this whole, like, apparently, I didn't know this, but there's like this whole separation between like TV actors and like movie actors that I didn't really know about. Apparently that boundary is kind of blurring nowadays with things like Netflix and stuff. But like I had no idea. But apparently there's a lot of snobbery about who's a movie actor and who's a TV actor back in the day. Not so much anymore. He actually left the vault to search for some damn fine cup of coffee. Hi, Bruce, welcome in. Hi, Donuts. I can't believe Vylett would spoil the entire Fallout series to me. I'm not spoiling it, okay? We're gonna be talking about spoilers. Anyway, so 1980s Dune is cursed and unintentionally funny. Yeah, it's great. It's a wild movie, but it is, I don't think it's David Lynch's best work. I think Twin Peaks is up there. I think he's got a couple others. Did he do Mulholland Drive? I think he did. I like Mulholland Drive too. Anyway, well, maybe that was Coppola. I don't remember. Anyway, so David Lynch, right? Now we come to the Fallout TV show. Actor, I hardly know her. Sorry. He was in Dune 1984. Yes, he was also in Dune before he was in Twin Peaks. He was in Dune as Paul Atreides. It's just a wild movie. Anyway, if a show is filmed in LA, it's a lot easier to have movie actors. Same thing with game actors in their separate. It used to be frowned on. Oh, really? Same with voice actors. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, the Fallout show. What am I saying? The Fallout show. Okay, so we start off with our girl Lucy. I just told you I wasn't going to give you an explanation. Okay. So, I've been wanting to talk about this for so long. Thanks for chilling with me, guys. It's really cool, in my opinion. One of the coolest things about the Fallout show is that they give you the illusion of choice, right? Here, let me actually shrink it down a bit so I can see, you guys can see yourselves on the chat. They give you the illusion of choice just like they do in the video games. For a lot of people, there's kind of three ways, I would say, that most people play a game like Fallout. You can go the evil path, the really evil path, that does a lot of evil things. Or people will do the good path, right? The good boy, you know, the good boy path where everybody loves you and la la la, and you know, where you're helping people and you're being just and kind and doing your best and stuff like that. And then there's the middle path, which is the survivor path. The survivor path is a path that is pragmatic, typically, and it doesn't really lean towards morally good or morally evil. It just sort of is. And we can see that reflected in the three main characters of the Fallout series. We can see that in Maximus, we can see that in Lucy, and we can see that in the Ghoul. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that the characters themselves are pure evil, pure good, or pure middle path. But their backgrounds and their history and their initial and also their character arcs kind of reflect the arcs that occur when you play a game that has multiple choice, a big long RPG like this. This is obviously intentional. Like, they intentionally chose three main characters because there are three moralities, really. If you boil down the Fallout series, there's kind of three moralities that the games introduce. A lot of them are shades of black and white. I would say Fallout New Vegas is the best at introducing a lot of gray shades. But for the other Fallout games, there is three very clear paths that both players kind of echo and that the devs kind of showcase, right? You don't really have four paths in a Fallout tree. Like, to solve a quest, for instance, to solve a quest in, say, Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, you typically have three paths, right? You've got the bad path, you've got the pragmatic path, and then you've got the good path. And I would say that that is a pattern that has evolved through modern video game history as we come more and more into refining it and more into experiencing it. Oh, the music's a little loud, sorry. I would say that some games do a better job. Anyway, some games do a better job of giving shades of gray for a character to experience or for a player to experience. But Fallout, at least the modern Fallouts 3, 4, even New Vegas, to an extent, New Vegas, it has a lot of shades of gray, but it also is very much a three-path type of game. You know, you've got Yes Men, you've got the Legion, and you've got the NCR, right? You've got the NCR, the obviously good path, the Legion, the obviously bad path, and then you've got Mr. House and Yes Man sort of in the middle. So, Now, don't get me started about how this also loops back around to the Elder Scrolls with the King, the Rebel, and the Observer. But don't get me started with that. Don't get me started with that, okay? You can see the parallels here. So, I think it's really cool that these characters kind of echo play styles, right? Like, they echo the choices you could make. They echo the paths you could go down if you were in the wasteland, if you were in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. But I really enjoy that. Maximus, obviously, he's not a good guy, per se, but he does his... all of these characters are not necessarily good guys. They just do their best with their morality... their moral compass. They do their best with what they have, with what they know. Maximus knows law and order, right? Maximus is from the Brotherhood. He knows law. He knows order. And a lot of times, law and order are conflated with goodness. Law and order are conflated with morally good things. Not accurately, but a lot of times people consider law and order to be quote-unquote good. And he himself, for a long time, considers the law and order that he's raised in to be good as well. So he is obviously the good, the lawful path, you know? I mean, I guess if we're talking about it in D&D terms, it's like lawful, chaotic, and neutral, right? You know, the King, the Rebel, and the Observer type beat. That parallels how I felt about the GTA protects. Ah, Maximus's goodness comes from his father at Shady Sands. The NCR wasn't obviously good if you listen to what people about it say in the game. Yes, but from the show's perspective, the show takes a really interesting turn. The show portrays the NCR, at least so far, as a good, more than the games, as a safe place to be, right? As like as safe as you can get in the wasteland. That's what the NCR is in the show, right? And even when we see the NCR in the Mojave Desert, like they have good intentions, right? The show is very focused on portraying the NCR as having good intentions, even if they're like, you know, fragmented and struggling. So in the show, the NCR is shown as a lot more morally quote-unquote correct. It's like the paradise, right? Like it's all these types of things. So Legion is not the good path. No. The Legion's not the good path. Yeah, Maximus is a D&D paladin. Yes, if you think about it, right? Maximus is the D&D paladin. The ghoul is the chaotic... He's not good. He's definitely chaotic. I would say neutral, probably chaotic neutral rogue. And then Lucy is like the ranger, like the, you know, good neutral ranger. Yeah, definitely a rogue type. Definitely a rogue type. Yes, man is the good path. Shady Sand City flashbacks were the most developed and peaceful I've ever seen in the Fallout universe. Yeah, I was actually really surprised when we saw the Shady Sands flashbacks. Because they were like leaps. Again, we don't know what the heart of the NCR looks like in a modern Fallout game. We don't know. We don't know. They haven't ever shown it, right? Like we saw the beginnings of the NCR in Fallout 1 and 2 at Shady Sands. Or what's that other town called? I forget. Anyway, we saw them begin, and we saw what they could be kind of with Vault City, but we never really saw the NCR in its full glory, and we still haven't. Like, we still haven't seen it. We haven't seen it in the Mojave. We haven't seen it in Fallout 3. We haven't seen it in New Vegas, and we haven't seen it in 4. And so we don't know what it looks like. So the show kind of gives us a glimpse into maybe what it might look like. But there's like trees around, you know, there's industry. You can raise a family semi-safe there, things like that. So it's really interesting. It was cool to see the NCR. Who is good, the king or the rebel? The king is typically seen as lawfully good. The rebel is seen as like, you know, challenging the king. Interestingly, Lucy started off about as lawful good as you can get and then started being neutral. I think that is a really cool arc, Sa. I think that's a good thing to note. Lucy is... Lucy's a really interesting case. I really like her, especially in Season 2, because she is really relatable, right? She has the best of intentions. And I think a lot of us in a similar situation would be like, all right, well, I'm going to try and do my best with the limited tools I have. And so she goes through a really interesting character arc. When she first leaves the vault, she's like, a la la la, everything is rainbows. I know it's going to be tough, but I'll do my best. And like, obviously that slowly gets chipped away. But she never really loses what makes her her, which I think makes her such a good character. You know, you could basically, I don't know. You could follow her story anywhere because it's a universal story, right? Like her story is like, I gotta find my dad. I'm gonna do my best. And I don't only want to hurt the people that I have to hurt, right? I don't want to hurt anybody if I don't have to. Yeah, she's really interesting. So in season 2, actually, in season 2, she actually does some Dr. Uggs. She gets accidentally hooked on Dr. Uggs, because the ghoul gives her some. For her injury, I think. Yeah, for an injury of some kind. And then she just becomes a homicidal maniac, which is really awesome. Yeah, like, it's really funny. Okie dokie, saws off the head. Like, she becomes a homicidal maniac. But you know what? You know what's crazy? Is I don't necessarily think that she just becomes... A lot of people are like, that's so weird for Lucy to become. And not really. Like, if you look at her dad is the same way. Like, Lucy has always been kind of mercenary in how she deals with people. She is very practical, right? She is raised in a vault where you have to be practical, where resources are thin, where you have to negotiate a lot with people. You have to be good at social skills and things like that. Her character arc was fantastic in season 2 because we saw the Dr. Uggs kind of lower her inhibitions while still showing her as a character, right? They were obviously addling her brain, but her father she has a lot of her father in her. Her father is very mercenary. We'll get to him in a second. We'll get to Hank, don't worry. Her father is very mercenary. Her father is like, has no compunctions about using people to get what he wants. He is very, very cutthroat. And I think it's not, he taught her everything, right? Like he was essentially the only parent that she had for years and years and years. They have this really cool scene, Lucy and her dad, later on in season 2, where he's in the kitchen and they're talking about the books they've read, right? Like, he clearly educated her himself, you know? And she was raised by him. And so she even says that I was raised by a good father, you know, before she handcuffs him to the oven. She's like, I was raised by a good father, right? Thankfully. And so his mentality is still very much embedded into Lucy. And so I think it was a really good way to show us that she is not just a goody two-shoes, which is why, again, I think she's the neutral path, right? She is intentionally meant to be the neutral path. Neither good, neither wholly good or wholly evil, right? It's really, I think they did a really good job with her character arc in season 2. I really liked it. Everything about it was just, you know, it made sense. It made sense. Scuba, thank you for the 105 stream streak. I appreciate that. Welcome in. Happy Sunday. How are you? Yeah, the ends justify the means. She is very much like that. If she doesn't want to hurt people, but if she has to, like, to save people, she will, right? What is a vault but a retro Americana road to Empress Palace? True and real. Yeah, she does feel really bad about it, obviously. I think, again, like, she's the perfect foil to the ghoul. The ghoul just does things, and the ghoul doesn't regret them at all. Or if he does, he's gotten really good at numbing himself, I would say. He probably regrets them, but he's got really good at numbing his regret. Lucy is his exact opposite. Everything she does, she feels intensely. That's why they work so well together on screen as characters. It's because he sees himself in her. He sees himself in her the way he started out, right? Like, hopeful and wanting to help people and wanting to be the good guy. And I think that's why he protects her a lot of the times, because he has a really complicated past, and we'll get into that in a second, but he used to be considered the good guy, and so he sees himself in Lucy. You know, he tried so hard pre-war to be the good guy, and in the end failed, right? Like, he failed. The bombs dropped, right? He couldn't stop them. And so, yeah, that was, I don't know, I like Lucy and the ghoul a lot together. I think they're really good together. Lucy and Maximus didn't get a lot of screen time this season because Maximus is off doing his own thing, which we will talk about. But Lucy and the ghoul work really well because they're foils to each other. I'm really excited to see Maximus and the ghoul interact more. I would love to see more screen time between them because I think they both know the wasteland and Lucy doesn't, and I think I want to see them. I don't know, how do I put this? I want to see them get to know each other as friends, right? Get to know each other as people more, because I think they'd have some really good bouncing off of each other, you know? He gave the fusion thing to the Enclave. Yeah! I thought the ghoul didn't care. He got reminded of the good of the NCR. What? I didn't like the kings being gone. Oh, that's true. Yeah. The kings are being... Yeah, so the kings in the show, all of the kings from Fallout New Vegas got turned into ghouls. And then Lucy, like, shot a bunch of them. It was a great scene, but I was really sad. I was really sad. I think in general, the Enclave just really messed up the strip. For reasons that we find out later, but the Enclave was the one who brought all of those death claws in on the strip. When we get into New Vegas, it's like New Vegas itself, Freeside is mostly okay, except for the ghouls. The kings who have turned into ghouls, which I bet you anything the Enclave had a hand in that too. I bet you anything. They put like some barrels somewhere or something. But the Enclave put a bunch of death claws outside all of the casinos. So, yeah, that's really interesting. I was really sad. They got ghouled up with zero explanation. Well, we can kind of extrapolate, right? Like, if the Enclave have been wiggling their fingers into destabilizing New Vegas to try and stop House, then we can extrapolate and say that the kings were keeping order in Freeside, and so that's why they had to go in the Enclave's eyes, right? The Enclave are trying to destabilize New Vegas the best they could. So anything that goes wrong there, I'm willing to bet it's the Enclave, you know? But that's just my opinion. The king was the last Lucy. What? Hi, Stanley. Welcome in. It's interesting to see how Lucy and Norm both get deprogrammed. Yeah, it's really interesting. Norm is on this PowerPoint. Don't you worry. Norm is on this PowerPoint. Yeah, the Enclave can't have order, which is why I think they were trying to destabilize New Vegas. Because they genuinely do fear Mr. House. And they know. I was telling this too... to my friends who also watch the show, because my friends are like, this show is great when you have a little guy on your shoulder telling you all about like the lore and stuff, but I was really, if you weren't here, I would have been really lost. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, I got you. But I was telling them basically like, as long as we have House, as long as Mr. House is in the game, the Enclave has some competition, right? The only other competition we know to the Enclave's technical prowess at this time is the Institute, which is on the East Coast. But other than the Institute's not interested in like taking on the Enclave, right? So the only person who's like interested at all, like going toe to toe with the Enclave, is Mr. House. So as long as he's around, the Enclave have a bit of competition, shall we say? Grazi! Wow! Thank you for the 5 gifted. Hey, what are you doing? Wow! Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Ring-a-ding-ding, baby, as they say in New Vegas. Arigato. If you guys got a gift, be sure to say thank you to Krasy, okay? Thank you very much. Thank you. Does the show take place after Fallout? Yes, the show takes place after Fallout New Vegas. Interestingly, the Hoover Dam is just not a thing. I was really surprised about how little the Hoover Dam was talked about in New Vegas, which leads me to believe that maybe it's been too many years. Maybe it's probably been, because people would be talking about the Hoover Dam, right? Like, obviously, this is after New Vegas because Caesar is dead, right? Caesar's dead. He died of his brain tumor, which means that the Legion in season 2 are scrabbling to find a new leader who eventually becomes Macaulay Culkin. He went from being such a weird little guy at the beginning of the season, and then at the end where he's like, I'm Caesar now. I was like, oh, wait a minute, you can play a villain. So that'll be interesting to see the Home Alone guy do Caesar. I'm really excited to see that. But anyway, so 9, thank you for the 5. The Institute was likely nuked since the canon is the Brotherhood Commonwealth is standing still. You think so? The thing is, like, I'm not sure. Even if we do wipe out the Institute's main building, I don't think the Institute is gone forever. I think they have a main building, but if they have teleportation powers, they probably have safe bunkers elsewhere. The Institute is definitely not gone. With that level of technology, you would be building safe houses. You would be building backups. You would not just have one place. I'm almost positive there's like, again, like the Brotherhood, their technology is good, don't get me wrong. It's not good enough. It's not good enough to completely wipe out the Institute on their own. It is not good enough. Unless they had Enclave help. But who knows? Anyway, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate that. Hi, Bob. As many things in Fallout, the Enclave destabilizing all the things. Exactly. I lost it when he took off the helmet reveal. Kevin McAllister. Yeah, it's going to be really awesome. Leggett Kevin. Yeah, it's going to be super funny. I mean, I'm looking forward to it because he did do a good job of being, like, at the end, it was like, that he could probably be, because Kaiser, you don't need to be intimidating to be Kaiser. That's the thing about Kaiser is it's a title. Like, as long as you have the power, that in itself is the intimidation factor. It doesn't matter what you look like, right? It doesn't matter whether you're a huge, rugged guy. They don't, the Legion has plenty of huge, rugged guys. You don't need to be a huge, rugged guy to be Kaiser. You don't need to prove yourself with like how strong you are. It's just whether or not you hold the power, and he does. Which is, and again, that's a reason why the Legion is a terribly mismanaged mess. But hi, Paddington. Vi needs a laser pointer. Do I? Welcome in. Hi. I feel like Boston is in a standstill with no definitive winner. We know the Brotherhood is there, but we don't know how strong their position is. True. Again, I don't think the Brotherhood alone could have taken on the Institute. I don't think it's possible. By themselves? Absolutely not. They could not wipe out the entire Institute. Hi, Didi. Welcome in. The original Caesar was lanky. Was he? Yeah, I mean, the original Caesar in New Vegas. Oh, you mean Julius Caesar. Was he? I had no idea. I was thinking about the Caesar in New Vegas, and he was just a bald old man, right? But because he had the title of Caesar, everyone was afraid of him, you know? Imagine Caesar's palace filled with traps. What? Caesar's palace? What do you mean? I want to know more about the Brotherhood of Steel situation in the Commonwealth. The guy said they might lose the war in the Commonwealth and are fighting the super mutants. Yeah, so that was something I wanted to talk about too. We got to see a super mutant, guys. Finally. We got to see a super mutant. And it was that dude. It was voiced by that dude. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. It's the guy who says war never changes. It was voiced by him. You could tell. Not Gary Oldman. Why do I want to say Gary Oldman? Hi, Koi. Welcome in. Hi. It's not Gary Oldman. What's his name? Pacific Rim guy. Ron Perlman. Thank you. Ron Perlman. Why do I keep wanting to say Gary Oldman whenever I think of Ron Perlman? Hi, Ryu. Yeah, for almost 5 seconds. Green Hellboy. Yeah, yeah. So we got to see a super mutant. Well, kind of. Basically, a super mutant saves the ghoul and puts a radioactive... So, oh, that's another thing. So we got confirmation in Season 2 that radioactivity does heal ghouls. So for a long time, I was really confused. Like Season 1, Season 2. I was like, okay, so does the ghoul get healed by radiation? I was really confused. Are we following that logic? Because in the games, ghouls do get healed by radiation. Radiation just heals them naturally. And so in this season, we finally saw that we can confirm, because the super mutant put a huge hunk of uranium directly into the ghoul's chest cavity, or like his stomach, and it healed him, right? So that is confirmed. That is confirmed, which is really interesting. The super mutant dropped some crazy hints about future developments and organized resurgence. Yeah, Garn or Alderman. No, not that one, Doodle. Super mutant army recruiter. The thing is, like, the ghoul has no interest in helping mutants fight back against humans. He has no interest in that. Unless the humans have his family. Because, again, like, actually, we should talk about this. All 3 of these characters have their own motivations, right? Lucy wants to find her dad. That carries her through Season 1 and 2. The ghoul wants to find his wife and child, which carries him through 1, 2, and 3, potentially. And then Maximus is really interesting. Maximus is the only one that's kind of struggling to find a reason. In Season 1, he has his reason, right? He wants to become a knight. He doesn't want to be a page anymore. He doesn't want to be kicked around and on the lowest rung of the Brotherhood of Steel hierarchy. He wants to be a knight. He wants to have his own agency. And in the Brotherhood, that means becoming a knight, because you're either a knight or a scribe, and usually you have to be smart for scribes. Maximus is smart, just not that smart, right? So In season 1, he wanted to become a knight, but in season 2, it's really interesting because Maximus loses his way, essentially. Maximus doesn't know what he's fighting for anymore. His Brotherhood of Steel elder, the elder that runs his his bunker, I should say chapter. There we go. The elder who runs his chapter of the Brotherhood of Steel is like a total like power hungry doofus, right? Like the guy who is in charge of everything at the very top of the hierarchy that Maximus has tried so hard to climb to just get a scrap of recognition and respect, basically just craps all over. The elder just craps all over Maximus, right? Like, even though he's a knight, even though he did the right thing, even though he followed the rules, even though Maximus did everything right, it just shows that the hierarchy will always try to crush you. Right? Yeah, Quintus the doofus. He went full Palpatine, basically. And it, again, like, I like this, though. I liked what happened with Quintus. Quintus is the elder, is Maximus's elder. Quintus got a hold of cold fusion, right? He got a hold of possibly the most advanced technology maybe in the entire wasteland. Maybe. It's, like, up there, right? Like, teleportation is up there, you know, like... Cold fusion. I would say that teleportation, cold fusion, there's very few other technologies in the wasteland that are as powerful as cold fusion is, right? So he gets a hold of it. The Brotherhood's whole thing is to get technology and protect it. Not necessarily use it. Not necessarily use it, okay? Their goal, their original goal, is to get technology, catalog it, inspect it, study it, but not use it, right? That's one of the big things in Fallout New Vegas that Veronica is frustrated with, because her chapter follows very strictly the base ideal of the Brotherhood. Oh yeah, the time machine, but that's different. Veronica is frustrated with her chapter of the Brotherhood because her Brotherhood does exactly what they set out to do. Exactly, down to the letter. They take technology, they preserve it, they study it, they catalog it, and then they don't ever use it, right? They don't use it to expand, they don't use it to change, they don't use it to, you know, become better, or they strictly, Veronica's chapter strictly follows the code of the Brotherhood, the original Brotherhood. But Quintus, Maximus's chapter, Quintus gets a hold of cold fusion and goes crazy. He goes power mad, which is exactly what the Brotherhood was made to make sure doesn't happen, right? Like, that is the kind of behavior that dropped the bombs in the first place, you know? So it's really interesting, that dichotomy. What we see, what happens when an elder who actually is power hungry gets a hold of this. It's almost like it's not the technology that's bad, it's the people who have it. Knight, thank you for the 5 supa. Since Quintus got the Liberty Prime documents, do you think that means the chapters are in contact again by the time of the show, or were they in A51? The Liberty Prime? What do you mean? I'm sorry, I didn't see that. When did that happen? Thank you for the supa. If they all know about Liberty Prime, it means that the Brotherhood East is working on Liberty Prime to try and wipe out the mutants. That's what it means. Because there was a lot of talk about how they're losing the mutant war out east, and if you look at Fallout 3 is a game, mutants everywhere. Super mutants are a huge problem in Fallout 3. In New Vegas, not so much. There's not that many super mutants. There's like a couple. The Nightkin are more prominent. But like in Fallout 3, the super mutants are a huge problem because the area is so dense and so populated with them. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen there. I think they might do some kind of master thing. They might do like not the master. They won't bring back the master, but they might kind of play off of somebody controlling all of the mutants. And that's why the Brotherhood is so hard up, right? The Brotherhood is suffering so much, and that's why they need Liberty Prime. But if there were Liberty Prime blueprints, it means that the Brotherhood is probably... East Brotherhood is probably considering using him. Liberty Prime is what Quintus is having built as Quintus the Destroyer, not Quintus the Unifier. What? It's different from the Liberty. I never saw the Liberty Prime. You missed the post-credit scene? Oh. Oh, there was an after-credit scene? I never saw it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on. Fallout Season 2 after credits. Did they pull a Marvel on me? Oh, they did. Okay, I'm watching it now. I'm watching it now. Oh my god, there's a stim pack just right in that man's leg.
Act fast.
Act fast. Okay. I also love this character. I don't remember their name. They're Maximus's friend. I love that character. He's still alive? Quintus is still alive.
Open it.
Man's got a concussion. Dane, yes, thank you. I think Dane is a really cool character.
Out of the virtue in my heart, I tried to unify the brotherhood.
That's never gonna. That's bad. You don't want that, dude. Trust me.
Got me. No matter. No matter. Quintus, the unifier,
Is dead. Uh-oh.
Quintus, the destroyer, is born.
Stupid. You're an You're a doofus. Yeah, that's Liberty Prime. Liberty Prime Alpha. I never saw this. That's so cool. Okay, so, I mean, that doesn't change much, right? I mean, it doesn't matter. He doesn't have the cold fusion anymore. As long as he doesn't have the cold fusion, so yeah, he can make a Liberty Prime, but like, how can he power it, right? Like, how are you gonna power that thing? The brother's been infighting for days, yeah. It's so cheesy, it's so good, I love it. Okay, there was an after credit scene. Thank you for showing me that, guys. I had no idea, thank you. The Fallout 3 Brotherhood powered Prime without cold fusion. That's true, but not for very long, right? In Fallout 3, Liberty Prime works for like maybe a couple hours. Like the scribes are like, we don't have him to full functionality yet, at least in the base game. They were like, we don't have him to full functionality yet. We can't do this, we can't do that. I mean, back in the day, I would say like back in the we see a Liberty Prime in the simulation, right? In one of the simulations of the simulation DLC, we see a Liberty Prime, but that's back in the day. That's back when fission and fusion and things like that were streamlined. It was like there was a source, there was a production, you know, resources are wearing thin, but there's still a production line for that sort of stuff. So I would, if he can't power it, right, what's the point? Which makes me think that they're gonna have Quintus go after cold fusion because he needs it to power Liberty Prime. Yeah, like they don't, that thing is huge. That thing is huge, and it's like, the Enclave, I guarantee you, if Liberty Prime was known to like just the Brotherhood, I guarantee you the Enclave's been working on like 5 of them. Right? Like, yeah, so what? The Brotherhood has 1. The Enclave's got 5, and then 5 they're working on, and then 5 in the back. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, I think if he builds 1 Liberty Prime, it's gonna be it's gonna be really bad for like, I don't know, the villages in the Mojave and like anybody with like less technology than the Enclave. But the Enclave are not gonna care. They're not going to care. They powered it fine in Broken Steel and then Fallout 4. Broken Steel... So, in the one we saw, the only other Liberty Prime other than the end... Fallout 3, I believe. The only other Liberty Prime at the end, other than the end of Fallout 3, was the simulation one. And the simulation one was during the war. So, during the war and post the war are two different things, right? Yeah, bipedal robot tanks are not that great. Liberty Prime is obviously a very powerful weapon, but it's not whatever the Brotherhood can cook up, the Enclave has cooked up 5 of it already. Which makes me think, it makes me think that, like, it's why the Enclave are the big bad, right? Like, it makes sense that the show writers are like, all right, who is going to be the big bad? Who is going to be the guy that's pulling all the strings? It's obviously the Enclave. It's got to be, right? Like, it has to be. The Enclave have been the big bad since Fallout 2, right? Since Fallout... Were they in Fallout 1? I don't remember. I think they were, right? I remember Fallout 2, we blew up their base. Were they in... Was the Enclave in Fallout 1? It wasn't in 1. It was in 2. Okay. Yeah. Emperor class Titans beg to differ, boss. That's 40k, Spaghetti. Welcome in. Hi. Potentially, given it's called Liberty Prime Alpha, maybe they solved the power issue because... No, Alpha comes before Beta, though, right? It's been 10, 15, 20 years. Well... I don't think... I think you guys are right to be really excited for Liberty Prime. I don't think it's going to be the big chess piece that Quintus thinks it's going to be. Because Mr. House is still alive, guys. Hey, you know the #1 robotics man? The #1 robot guy of all Fallout? Hey, okay, so the Brotherhood's made a huge robot. Hey, what's the one guy? Do we have a guy that knows about robots? Yeah, Mr. House. I wouldn't be surprised if most of those parts from Liberty Prime were made by Robco, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Liberty Prime was created at Robco to begin with. I killed him in my playthrough while he's still alive in this show. What if they added solar panels? Actually... The Enclave don't have limitless resources. They had cold fusion, Bubba. They had the cold fusion molecule at the beginning. Also, hi, welcome in, hi. You are right. Nobody has limited resources, but the Enclave had the cold fusion for 200 years. And you're telling me they didn't make another cold fusion? You're telling me they didn't... You're telling me they didn't develop insane resource technologies based off of the fact they had cold fusion in their hands for 200 years? I don't buy that. Hi, Crude Matter. For certain definitions of alive. He is alive, though. We saw him. Liberty Prime does have Robco parts. Hi, Tukuru. Yeah. I just think that there's no way that Robco didn't help build Liberty Prime. There's no way. And who's the guy who made Robco? That's right, Mr. House. So, like, I think Quintus is crazy. I think Quintus is a crazy old man. And I think he's desperately grasping at straws for power. He's going to use Liberty Prime against the other Brotherhoods. Like, that's his main problem right now is that the Brotherhoods are fighting each other in a civil war, right? Which means his first target that he's going to use Liberty Prime on are the other Brotherhoods. Which sucks, don't get me wrong, that really sucks. Because I think Quintus is misguided in the idea of wanting to unite the Brotherhood. I don't think the Brotherhood benefits from being united. I don't think it benefits. I think it would suffer the same problems as the NCR, if not worse, almost immediately. You know? Robco developed Liberty Prime in the first place. That's what I'm saying. I think Mr. House, as long as Mr. House, or at least a simulacrum of Mr. House is alive, whether it be an AI, whether it be him in an actual cryosleep, whatever it is, as long as he's alive, I guarantee you that Liberty Prime's not going to be a problem to anybody for very long, right? Cold fusion is an abstraction to keep the resource war at the center of the story. What? They could have used it to prevent 2077. Well, that was the whole thing, right? There's this weird, like, spy plot. Yeah, I guess we should go on to the next slide. There's this whole weird spy plot pre-war that the show keeps going back and forth to. And I think that's one of my major complaints. Oh, wait, this is not the right slide. Evil? Don't worry about that. So let me just talk about it real quick. One of my major complaints, I really like the show. Let me get started by saying that. We got a little bit off topic. I really enjoy the show. I think it's really good. One of my main complaints is that the pre-war segments, they give really good context. And it's a really interesting look into what life was like before the war that we rarely get to see as video game players of Fallout, right? But it almost feels like the director wanted to, he's like, or they, I'm not sure who directed it. It feels like it's two different shows and two different properties going at the same time. Does that make sense? Like, of course there'd be a lot of spying and stuff like that, but the amount of screen time that we spend pre-war rehashing the ghouls, like, betrayal and, like, corporate espionage, and it makes me think that this person wanted to direct a corporate espionage movie and just kind of shoehorned it into the Fallout show. It doesn't really feel... It feels important, don't get me wrong. Screen time should have been dedicated to it for sure. But that much screen time? That much screen time? That is one of my main complaints, is that I really don't need to see the ghoul go through this side plot of corporate. Yes, like, of course it's important. Of course it all ties into the cold fusion in the end. But I don't, it's not Fallout to me. It's not focusing on, like, it's focusing on the past. Now, granted, I do like that it shows the past, and I think there's a huge message in Fallout, which is we should not repeat the mistakes of the past, right? You have to know the past in order not to repeat the mistakes. But at the same time, the sheer amount of screen time that is given to the pre-war stuff, I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it. I do like the little twists of it. For instance, when we get to see the blonde lady. What's her name? Blonde lady. Like, we get to see that the blonde lady used to be... Yeah, Steph. We see that Steph met the ghoul and stuff like that, and she was his first wife. That's pretty cool. Like, those are not the ghoul, sorry, Hank. Whoa. She was Hank's first wife. I like that sort of stuff. Like, the little things those are really nice. Yeah, there's too many storylines. I agree. I think that the storyline, there's a lot of storylines going on, and they're doing a great job of balancing them, but the sheer amount of screen time that is given to the pre-war stuff is staggering compared to what's given to, like, say, Norm. I would have loved to see more Norm stuff. I don't really care about the ghoul, like, pre-ghoul, like, getting, you know, like, yeah, the bad, and then the bad, and then he did this, and then the government wants you, like, I don't care. Like, this could be easily summed up by saying the government tricked me into giving them cold fusion, right? Like, we don't necessarily need to spend all that time. I want to see more Norm. I want to see more, like, other things that are going on in the actual present day. Hi, Jesse, welcome in. It spends a lot of time on history, but that's good. I'm torn, right? I feel like on one hand, that's good. On the other hand, I feel like there's just a bit too much indulgence in the corporate espionage aspect of it, right? Like, my wife is evil, right? Like, we'll get to that, but, like, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's too much. There's too much lingering. There's too much set pieces. I think it could have been pared down pretty easily and nothing would have been lost. At least to me. It just feels kind of like a weird crime thriller that's been shoehorned into this Fallout show. And I appreciate the background. I appreciate the history of it. But it does kind of cut momentum a little bit, you know? That's me. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Knight, thank you for the 5. The pre-war stuff is required for those that aren't aware of what the Enclave is. We know because we played the games, but the normies won't know. I don't necessarily think that's true. I genuinely don't necessarily think that's true. I think, thank you, first of all, thank you for the supa. I think you could very easily translate what and who the Enclave are to normal people because everyone has an idea of an evil government in their head. That's just a universal ideal. Right? The normies are very familiar with the idea of an evil government. And that is very easy to convey because it's already an idea that's in people's heads. You don't need to go back and forth between these different time periods to show, like, just how evil they really are, right? Like, it's not necessary. What I do think is more necessary is vault tech, right? Vault tech in and of itself, I would have loved more into Vault-Tech's inner workings, then all we see of Vault-Tech is the boardroom, right? We don't see, like, the labs. We don't see, like, what it's like to work for Vault-Tec. I would have loved, other than Barb, and we don't really, Barb is a head executive, right? She experiences very different things than the common Vault-Tec worker. I would have loved the perspective of like the guy that's trying to sell people Vault-Tec, like in Fallout 4, the guy at the beginning. How cool would it have been to like see like a couple minute montage of like what life is like for him trying to sell people on Vault-Tec? That would have been, I want to see the mundane evil of Vault-Tec, not just the tippy top CEOs bartering with the world, you know, the conglomerate at the very top that's controlling the world. That's not interesting to me. That's not interesting to me. It is interesting to a point. I want to see the mundane evil. I want to see Vault-Tec setting up their water purifiers that they know are going to fail. What are the people who set up those water purifiers that are going to fail? Who are they? What are they thinking? What are they going through? So that is what I want to see. That is what, personally, I think a lot more screen time could have been dedicated to something like that. Because as soon as we start scaling up the evil guy to be the government, we lose a lot of sight on Vault-Tec. We do. As soon as it's like, oh yeah, the president wants cold fusion, hand it over to the ghoul, blah, 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 all this stuff, we lose sight of Vault-Tec. And that's the heart of Fallout. It's not the government. The Enclave, don't get me wrong. The Enclave's a big deal in Fallout. But the heart, the beating, bleeding heart of the Fallout games is Vault-Tec. So I'm hoping that we get to more of that. I'm hoping that we get to see more of that rather than the whole, like, government Enclave conspiracy. It did a good job of setting up the Enclave. But I feel like Vault-Tec itself hasn't been set up. And I think there's a reason for that. I think they're saving that for the FEV reveal, right? Which we'll get into. Yeah, not enough bobbleheads, to be honest. Anyway, that's my opinion. Yeah, I mean, that's why I think if we spent more time with Norm, we could have... so much of season 2 could have been spent more with Norm rather than in the past. Like going to fancy parties and the ghoul having his moral dilemma of like being the bad guy or the good guy. Like I'm tired of the ghoul's moral dilemma. I really am in season 2. I get it. I understand it. I just think it's labored upon too much, right? Like we understand he's a conflicted man and has many scars. Period. Move on, right? Like I'm done. I'm done. Show me Norm. Show me what's going on, you know? Anyway, that's my opinion. Too much screen time for the ghoul and his pre-war stuff. Okay, so next slide. Sorry, I got off track, guys. Guys, I got off track. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so welcome, Dad. Everybody say hi to Dad. This is Kyle MacLachlan as Lucy's father, Hank. Lucy's father, Hank. So Hank is really interesting. Yeah, hi, Evil Dad. Everybody say hi. Hello. Hello, Evil Dad. So Hank is such a cool character, and not in the way, not in like a, oh, bad guy cool way, but he represents something in the story. Yeah, thou shalt get sidetracked by BS every time. Exactly. His character represents something really interesting in the story, and especially in season 2, the show writers did a great job of exploring his morality, in a very interconnected way, like a very not all these flashbacks. We explored his morality not through flashbacks, right? He was in the flashbacks. Don't get me wrong, not through flashbacks, but through active participation in the current world, right? And also, anyway, okay, all right, let me start this way. Lucy's father, Hank, represents the dad morality, okay? So remember how we said at the beginning, like, oh yeah, there's like 3 different moralities that you can go through, you know, like there's different perspectives and all these kinds of things. Morality here can also kind of be used interchangeably with like purpose. A character is nothing without their purpose. Every character is defined by their purpose. It is what they are. In any media, in manga, in anime, in books, in movies, in TV, every single character you see has a purpose. They have a morality. They have a compass. That purpose and morality is their compass that carries them forward. For instance, we're going to use a really, really, really popular example. Daenerys Targaryen, right? Daenerys Targaryen. She is like one of the big people in Game of Thrones. Originally, her purpose is to live in her brother's shadow, right? She just lives in her brother's shadow, but then she becomes the mother of dragons, and all of a sudden her purpose is to be the mother of dragons. Her purpose is to free people. Her purpose is to follow the Targaryen way, right? She has all these main purposes. Jon Snow is another great one. He is a bastard, and it informs his purpose. It informs his reality, his bastard upbringing. He doesn't know his parents, right? He is constantly looking for answers. Every character you know has a purpose. Shrek has a freaking purpose, right? Shrek's is to become accepted. Shrek wants to be accepted desperately, but he's a big, loud ogre, and he doesn't know how to be, so he just shuts people out. But his purpose is to be accepted. So, all that being said, these characters have purposes and moralities, and those guide them like compasses. If we look at Lucy's father, Hank, he's got the dad morality, or the dad compass, right? It was really interesting to see him in the pre-war segments, which is one of the reasons why I do like the pre-war segments. It was interesting to see him as a corporate drone for Vault Tech. Question mark? Yeah, he worked for Vault Tech, right? It was interesting to see him as a corporate drone for Vault Tech before he became a father. So we got to see him before he was a father, and he was kind of just like, bleh, like whatever. He wasn't very, his personality wasn't very strong. But after he became a father, he gets what's called dad morality, where the dad morality, he represents the control morality, which is not that you should try to do the good thing, right? Like on the left, you should try to do the lawful thing. Lucy tries to do the good thing, and the ghoul tries to do whatever serves him, right? Rather than all that, dad just wants control, because as a father, he's worried about Lucy. He's worried about the world she'll grow up in. He keeps trying to get her to go back to the vault because he believes the vault is contained and safe and can be controlled, right? He doesn't want her out in the wasteland. He doesn't want her out in the post-apocalyptic waste because it's chaotic. He can't control it. He can't protect her. Every parent, to an extent, has this sort of control morality, especially when the children are younger, right? When the children are younger, it's like, I need to control everything. I need to make sure that they're safe. I need to, I want complete control over their environment, la 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 la, all these kinds of things. Yeah, basically a helicopter parent. But most parents eventually realize that their child, once they start getting older, has agency, right? And it is beneficial, if you're a good parent, that you let your child exercise that agency by choosing to do what they want, right? So the problem with Hank is that he never learned to let go. He's really, really bad at letting go. And he thinks that by allying himself with the Enclave, because there's some questions, but I'm pretty sure he's allied himself with the Enclave. Because at the end of season 2, he's literally escaping to the Enclave. But he's allied himself with the Enclave using I believe the Robco technology to control people, those little microchips on the back of people's necks. I think he's going to give that technology to the Enclave in exchange for his safety. Anyway, so he has allied himself with the Enclave, but more importantly, in season 2, he goes into the vault that is beneath New Vegas. He goes into the vault, and that is apparently like an executive vault where all the executives were held. He goes into that vault and he tries to perfect this technology that Mr. House invents, which is this technology that you put on the back of your neck and you can control people with some kind of wavelength, which we've never seen before, by the way. That's a technology we've never seen before in Fallout, okay? We've seen bomb collars. We've seen lobotomites. We've seen those guys, but that's a brain thing. You go into their brain and you take out parts of that and you replace it. We've seen lobotomites in Big MT, right? We have never seen control, like a remote control in the back of somebody's neck. That is not something we've seen. There's a hypnosis gun, right? But that's hypnosis, right? Like that's a hypnosis gun. So Yeah, that's the one that was supposed to be the one that house filled with concrete. I think, maybe. I'm not sure. They don't really specify. I assume it is. So this technology, the show introduces the idea of this technology, which Mr. House was developing before the war, which, okay, fine. It's kind of weird that they're like, yeah, Mr. House wants to make people robots. That's not really his bag in the game, right? Mr. House doesn't want to make people robots. He just wants to make robots. He thinks people are flawed. Mr. House, anyway, whatever. It's fine. Mr. House, the show Mr. House can do whatever he wants, I guess. He can be the scapegoat for whatever weird technologies they come up with. Deathclaw mind control was a thing, yes, but we don't know if it was a chip on the back of the neck. That's the problem. So what I'm saying is mind control is a thing in the Fallout universe, but it is usually intravenous. Or not intravenous, it's intracranial, right? Like you do something to the brain, whether that be through waves and hypnosis or whether that be through surgery. It's usually not just something you can slap on the back of somebody's neck and be like, all right, done here today. Is that Jim Carrey? Hi, Coco, welcome in. No, this is Kyle McLaughlin. How are you? It's good to see you. Hi. Hello. Anyway, so we've seen a lot of mind control in Fallout, but we've never seen mind control where it's an external thing. External mind control is very rare. Like I don't think I can recall ever seeing that. Usually it's like something you go inside the brain for, you do surgery, or you do some waves or something like that, right? It's fascinating. Anyway, so Hank is trying to make a quote unquote perfect world for Lucy to live in, right? He wants Lucy to be safe. And so he is trying to slap these mind control robots on the back of every single person's neck. Maybe not in the wasteland, but he wants to definitely, he tells Lucy, he's like, we can do this together. He tells Lucy he wants to slap it onto a lot of people. And the problem with that is the mind control is that there's only one person that can control that stuff, right? Like when it comes down to it, one person's hand is on the dial at the end of the day, which means it is essentially a non-compliant. It's non-compliant. Like I don't want to roll out the slavery word, but it is. It is mental and physical slavery. It is like, it is some truly hive mind horrific. When you actually look at it in the show, when it happened, I was like, no way they're going into this territory. But when you actually look at it, it's like, it's horrific. It's like maybe the worst thing that could ever happen. Your mind and your body are controlled by somebody else, and you have, you're probably still lucid. You're probably still lucid, is the worst part. You're watching this all happen. So, anyway, it's really bad. It's really bad, guys. Like, it's not just, people were like, I was seeing some conversation go around. It wasn't Reddit, it was somewhere else. But I was seeing conversation go around, well, like, yeah, Hank's trying to be a dictator. Hey, guys, this is way worse than a dictator. Hey, guys, this thing that's happening in Fallout, the thing that they were trying to do with the back of the neck, like mind control, it's even worse. Like it is total mental obedience, forced mental obedience, and physical forced obedience. Like there is no word in the human language for what that is yet. Right? Like we don't have words for what that is yet. So, anyway, yeah, so the fact that Hank is like trying to do that is crazy. No, it's not dictator squared. It's not. The fact that he's trying to do that is crazy, right? But he is doing it from a perspective of, I want to control the world to protect Lucy. He says that is his goal, right? He says that he's doing all of this to protect Lucy, but in my mind, he's using Lucy as an excuse to exert the megalomaniacal control he has always wanted. For years, he was a corporate drone for Vault-Tec. For years, he was just stepped on and probably snotted at, and like, you know, for years he got no respect, all this kind of stuff. He comes out of cryosleep, he starts a family. Oh, I love my child, la la la. I love my child as long as they obey me, la 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 la. Anyway, so he at his core, he is a narcissist and a megalomaniac, and he wants the control. He wants control over people. He is the Kwisatz Haderach Giga Tyrant. No, there's no word for it yet. But he wants the control, and he's using Lucy as the excuse to make it happen, right? And we kind of see that hypocrisy come to light in season 2 with Hank here when Lucy finally confronts him, where it's like, you're doing this for me. You say you're doing this for me, but like, this is not what I want. And he totally ignores her. He totally ignores her. If he was really trying to protect her, he would be interested in listening to how she feels, right? Because typically when you're trying to protect somebody is a very slippery slope, right? But as long as you make sure that you're listening to them and like what they think and what they feel and how they feel about it, and like all this sort of stuff and their wishes, as long as it's a conversation, protecting someone is okay. The moment protecting someone becomes a one-way street, that's just control, right? That's just control. That's not protection anymore. And so his hypocrisy eventually crumbles underneath him, because Lucy's not going to go along with this. She's seen the wasteland. There's a really, really cool moment, I think, that entire arc, where they're like, where Lucy is finally confronting her dad and you know, trying to hash it out in like rational terms. They're both so deeply opposite on the spectrum now, right? Like, maybe the Lucy that came out of the vault immediately would have agreed with her dad, maybe. But the Lucy that's been through like how many months of traveling and seeing the wasteland, and seeing people doing their best to survive and all this kind of stuff, the Lucy that has been subjected to the real world understands that this is no better than the Legion, right? It's no better than the Legion. It's no better than anybody who wants control, you know? So it's very fitting that Hank's downfall comes at his daughter's hands, right? Because he was the one that raised her. And he raised her with good morals that she carries forward better than he does, right? And that's the point of being a parent, is that you want your kid to be better than you. You know, you teach them as best you can. You know, you teach them, but the idea is that they are supposed to surpass you, right? And Lucy does just that. Lucy does just that. She surpasses him in every imaginable way, and it is his downfall, and it is so poetic. Mwah! Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss to the writer on that one. I really enjoyed that. Hi, Legend. The only problem with that is if he needs power to control things to protect Lucy, then he just wants control. Precisely. I feel like this guy really wants to be the CEO. This guy really wants to mog them. And he's kind of detestable, you know? He's detestable. People who grab for that much control, people who have no morals, and they're grubby, right? They're slimy. We don't like them. We instinctually recoil from people who are willing to do anything to get power because they're untrustworthy. You know, they only trust their own power. They only trust themselves. They don't contribute anything. They just want to dominate. And we recoil from people like that because it's at its core. It's not how cooperation, humanity as a whole does not operate on domination. It operates on cooperation. It always has. That is the main survival mechanism of humans. If you didn't have cooperation, you know, it would be done. And so, I don't know. He's a really good repulsive villain in a lot of ways. Calling a villain the CEO goes kind of hard. Yeah, it does actually. He wanted Barb's position. Yeah, he did, He wanted Barb's position so bad. I think Maximus is talking about everyone wants to save the world, but no one can agree. How stuck with her a lot. Yeah, it definitely did. I think Maximus has a pretty well-rounded... at this point, he's probably one of the most well-rounded characters when it comes to perceiving authority and power. He's been through all kinds of hierarchies. Yeah. The guys in suits doing really nasty stuff to enforce social conformity on everybody who isn't the guys in suits was a major thing. Oh, really, friend? I had no idea. Hank is the characterization of how capitalism reduces people to property. Oh, do you think so? Hi, Crane. Welcome in. Yeah, so what I got from the show was that Hank is the control morality, right? Where it's like, rather than playing by the sandbox rules like these characters are, like they're accepting life as it is. They're accepting the wasteland as it is, and they're doing their best to survive. unlike these characters who have different compasses, to be sure, Hank does not accept that sandbox. Hank wants to change the sandbox entirely. And so he's a great villain. I think that every villain should have the mindset of not wanting to play by the rules. Like every good villain, in my opinion, wants to change that little playpen that we're all in called life, you know? Maximus is in need of a dad, so he'll work for House. Oh, you think so? I don't think so. I don't think House is the dad type, to be honest. Yeah. He tried to rig the game from the start. Yeah, exactly. Did. And that's, if you think about it, that's what separates, not to harp on Mr. House, but I genuinely think that's what separates Hank from Mr. House. And that's what separates Mr. House from being an actual villain in any story sense, because he doesn't want to change the game. He wants to play it, right? Villains typically want to upend the table. The villain wants to upend the table or put a new game on the board, but Mr. House operates within the board's rules, and he just wants to play the game. I think that's the good difference that I can see there. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. No, House doesn't want to be God. No, House does not want to be God. House absolutely does not want to be God. He's seen how being God is bad for the NCR. The NCR is trying really hard to be God. The NCR wants to just expand and be like, you know, the place to be and all this sort of stuff. He knows that once you hit a certain point, it's not sustainable, right? Mr. House doesn't want to be God. He's very practical. He just wants to play the game. And that's his whole thing. Anyway, yeah, he wants to go to Mars. He wants to keep the game going forever. Exactly. That's a really good way to put it, Crude. Like, Mr. House is nothing without the game. Like, without the NCR and the Legion to fight against, he would wither. He would wither and die. He would have no purpose. He would no people to play the game against. He would see no point to life. You know, like, he has no... His fulfillment is in being the little puppet master, and if you don't have any people to puppet, then what's the point, right? Anyway... Hi, Queen, welcome. I mean, how with pre-war America was, I don't blame House for not wanting to be God. Yeah, House is not as megalomaniacal as people think he is. They think he is because he's like a control freak, but you can be a control freak and still not be a villain, right? There's a way to do it. Hank is a very good example, right? Hank is the villain. Hank will go the extra mile. Hank will upend the game board. House doesn't upend the game board. He doesn't want it. He just plays it. There's a big difference. But does Mr. House do an explosives only run? No, Greed, and that's why we're better than him. Hi, how you doing? I think in Rebel stories, villains maintain the status quo like Robin Hood and Sheriff of Nottingham. Not always. They're usually on one spectrum or the other. Either they want to maintain the status quo and the hero wants to upend the status quo, or the opposite. The villain wants to upend the status quo and the hero wants to maintain it, right? And I think that this story is leaning towards the latter because... It's like you don't want the wasteland to come under the control of the Enclave. The wasteland should be free to be the wasteland, right? It's a very, honestly, if you look at it, it's a very American ideal at the heart of it. It's like the wasteland should remain free to be flawed. The moment you try to micromanage everything so that nothing has flaws, that's where you've messed up. Right? And the same thing with the Brotherhood, right? Where Quintus is trying to unite the Brotherhood. It's not a bad idea to unite the Brotherhood. It just the Brotherhood doesn't function. It wouldn't function as well as a huge conglomerate as it does in its splinter cells. Right? The variety is the point. The freedom, the variety is the point. The freedom to be flawed is a very, when you think about it, is a very Americana idea, you know? Anyway, yeah. The Enclave does not like House because he won't pay them taxes. House just wants to watch his little snow globes. True. Hi, Hammer. Welcome in. The Enclave must win. No, the Enclave must die. The Enclave suck a lot. So yeah, anyway, this is Hank. He's a very good villain. I don't think he'll be the villain any longer because at the end of season 2, he gets lobotomized, effectively lobotomized. However, he is left alive. So typically in TV shows, what happens is if you want to write a character out completely so they have no chance of coming back, you will kill them, right? And shows are very, very good about showing the character dead because they want you to understand that this character is never coming back, right? However, Hank, they just left him on the steps. They did not show him dying, which is something that most TV shows really hone in on. Hi, Goomba. I like listening to Boss talk about lore. I almost know nothing. I'm sorry. You must be so lost if you haven't seen the shows. Hi. Lucy just walks away, right? Like, they are leaving it open for him to come back in some capacity. Now, whether or not, I think the only person, and I'm saying this with like 98% confidence, the only person, the only group that could ever have a hope of reversing Mr. House's mind control thing on the back of his neck, they make a point that it's non-reversible, but the only people who would have a chance at reversing that are, guess who? That's right. The Enclave. That's right. The Enclave. Anyway. So I don't think Hank's out yet. I think Hank is gonna come back. I think the Enclave will probably use him against Lucy for sure. They'll use him against, they did my goat dirty, I know. Not Mr. House. Mr. House could possibly, yeah, that's actually a good point. Mr. House could definitely use him. Either Mr. House or the Enclave are the only two people that know how that technology even works. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think he's gone yet. They'll turn him into a pawn. Well, here's the thing. I don't... I think you're right. I think he'll be a pawn for a little while, but I think he will get his mind back. He will get his mind back. I don't know how, but, like, it just doesn't make sense to have an actor... You know what I mean? Like, Lucy's dad, maybe right before he dies, he'll get his mind back or something, and he'll be like, Lucy, I love you. But he will get his mind back at some point. I just don't know when. Put the dad morality together with the Enclave and form the Unclave. Yeah, so that's a good point. The Enclave has the same mentality as Hank. They have the exact same mentality, which is that control equals... Control is good. Control is the goodness of the world. Controlling things. Not necessarily law and order. That's very different. You have to have laws and orders to control things. But they just want the pure control. Whether or not there are laws doesn't really matter. You can just... The Enclave believes in shooting first and asking questions later, right? They just want the control. Complete utilitarian control. And they would love the mind control technology in that case, right? Like, and I think that's why Hank developed it, because he wanted to get in the Enclave's good graces, and that's why Hank was developing it, because they would love something like that. So, the Enclave is just Hank without pretending they're doing it for someone else's benefit. Well, they do have someone they pretend they do it for, Crude, and that is the US of A, right? The Enclave pretends that they're doing it to maintain the good old United States, right? That is their justification. Whether or not that's true is up to debate, but that is, they have a justification. They always do. Big groups like that always have a justification for what they're doing because it gives people something to die for. If they give Hank a redemption arc and he sacrifices himself, I wouldn't be upset. Yeah, I would like that too. I think that because Kyle MacLachlan is such a famous actor in TV, I don't think I think maybe it just depends on how long he wants to be around, right? Like how long he wants to be on the project. And that's something that TV writers have to contend with that I don't envy them. But essentially, like, they have to write in the actors for as long as their contract says or as long as the actor themselves wants to be there. You know? Turns out the real mastermind is the king. They've tried to use FEV on the air and water. Do you think phase 2 is going to be them attempting to go full Avatar and spread it via fire and earth? Actually, Cran, you reminded me of something. Hold on. All right. Thank you. Now let's talk about Steph. So there's a lot of different aspects. There's a lot of different plot lines going on during the Fallout show. And Steph is one of them. So Steph is really interesting because... she is, if you guys don't know her, Steph is the overseer of, there's like basically a triumvirate of vaults that Lucy comes from, which means 3 vaults in Cohesion. And so Lucy comes from one of those 3 vaults, and I don't remember the numbers because, again, dyscalculia. Sorry about that. But Steph is the so essentially one of the vaults is a huge cryo chamber for Vault Tech staff. That's just one of the vaults. The other 2 are more civilian vaults, but one of the vaults is just a huge cryo chamber for Vault Tech staff, and they defrost people when they need overseers to come in, right? Because clearly they've trained people to be overseers in Vault Tech. And so Steph is one of the ones that gets defrosted. At least I think so. She gets defrosted, and then she comes and takes over as overseer for one of the vaults. The cool thing about her is she's Canadian, and the reason why that's interesting, yeah, Canadian, well, there's a reason I put that on there, okay? The Enclave did try mind control just on Deathclaws. Oh, yeah, I remember that, Fruits, from 2. It's 31, 32, and 33. Thank you, Kana. Thank you for the 5 super. Hank already is Enclave. Stephanie got his Pip-Boy from Betty, and he had it since before entering the vault. She contacted him with it. Hank already is Enclave. Stephanie got his Pip-Boy from Betty, and he had it since before entering the vault. I'm confused. Pip-Boys belong to Vault Tech Night, not necessarily the Enclave. So I'm a little bit confused with that one. But thank you for the super. I really appreciate that. I'm pretty sure that Hank probably was part of the government, but he might have been part of the government. I don't know. Probably. It would make sense for him to be, but I'm not sure, because Pip-Boys are Vault Tech technology. They're not necessarily Enclave technology. Okay, so hello everyone. Hi. So this is Stephanie, okay? She is Hank's first wife. So Hank is Lucy's dad, right? Hank's first wife. They met while they were working at Vault Tech, I'm pretty sure. Well, they met in a hotel room, but that's beyond the point. Anyway, Hank's first wife, not Lucy's mom. She is not Lucy's mom. Lucy's mom, Stephanie, at some point gets cryo-frozen in the Overseer Vault, and then Hank takes another wife, I think, and then they have Lucy together. Steph here is Hank's first wife who was frozen. Interesting they gave her a position of power to someone of a conquered country. Yeah! Welcome in, Touch. Hi. Yes, that is something I want to cover. So she is Canadian. There's one difference between Steph and like the rest of the people that we met so far that is really poignant, and it is that she is Canadian. So in the Fallout universe, if you're not familiar, Canada was annexed by the United States, I believe, after the Chinese attempt to invade through the Battle of Anchorage, I think. Maybe before. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the timeline. But essentially, at some point before the bombs fell, Canada as a whole is annexed. There's a big war, and Canada is annexed by the United States and becomes part of the United States, right? So we get to see something we've never seen. Never. Not in the games. Like, as far as I know, not in the games. Not anywhere I've ever heard of. But essentially, we get to see what life was like for Canadians who were annexed. And Steph comes from a background where her and her mom were living, I assume, in the wilderness in the middle of nowhere. And all of a sudden, like, clearly, either during the Canadian-American War or directly after it, there are soldiers, and then her and her mom get separated. But her and her mom are living off the grid, I guess, maybe part of a resistance or something, or maybe, I'm not sure. But they get separated by soldiers. So the interesting thing is, oh, they were in a camp. Right, sorry, I'm so sorry. So apparently, you're right. Apparently, part of the United States annexing Canada came with work camps. Let's put it nicely. Let's put it that way, because I don't want to be completely shut off, because YouTube will shut me off if I say too many bad words. And I've already said dictator a lot. So they were put into work camps, not dissimilar from the things that the United States did during World War II to the Japanese, right? Like, that is a fact. You can look that up. So the Canadians were apparently in the fiction also put into work camps. And so Steph comes from a background that has been constantly beaten down by the Americans, right? Constantly. Like, her life is miserable. Her mother dies. Like, they're both trying to escape, and her mother dies. And she's got a lot of hate, man. She's got a lot of hate. And it's not... I like her as a character because you can see where she's coming from, right? Like, if you had that kind of background, would you be a nice person? Probably not. You know what I mean? Like, personally, I probably would have gotten kind of angry. And so Steph comes from a place of a lot of, she's basically been frozen in time, right? She didn't die unnatural. She didn't age properly. She's not aged. She's been frozen. She got hired by Vault-Tec somewhere along the way. She was a maid in a hotel, and then I think she met Walter Goggins. Yeah, she meets the ghoul, and then, like, he says, talk to my wife about getting a job, and then she gets a job at Vault-Tec, I guess. So she becomes a Vault-Tec, but she has a really interesting moral compass and a really interesting inner engine, which is that her mom told her to survive no matter what, right? No matter what. No matter who you have to hurt, no matter what you have to do, you have to survive. So she is the pure survivor mindset. She's kind of like, actually, now that I think about it, she's kind of like Lucy to an extent, right? Like, Steph and Lucy are not dissimilar. Lucy is a survivor, but Lucy is on the Steph is like the true neutral. Maybe even like a little bit evil. Maybe a bit chaotic neutral, right? Like, but she is trying to survive just the same way that Lucy is, but she's doing it in disfavorable ways people don't necessarily like, right? It was Steph's husband, Bert. Oh, yeah, Steph's husband, Bert, dies. Anyway, okay, so she's really interesting because we get to see what life was like in Canada while Canada was being annexed in the lore of Fallout, right? So that's very interesting. I think personally she is an Enclave agent, right? I think personally that she might be an Enclave agent. She knows, at the very least, she knows about the Enclave. I also think, okay, so now we're going to get into the Fallout New Vegas, sorry. We're going to get into the FEV virus, the Forced Evolutionary Virus, which I was so excited, guys. You have no idea. When the episode came up, that it was like, oh, okay. When Norm was typing on his computer and was like, okay, what are we seeing here? And then FEV popped up. I literally screamed. That's her mother? No, this is not Lucy's mother. This is Lucy's dad's first wife. Yeah, so Norm is like typing on a computer and he discovers that there's something called the FEV and nobody knows what it is yet. And the writers the show did a really good job in general of not giving too much away about the FEV. Like, they just sort of left it as crumbs in there. I would have liked a little bit more, but they left it as crumbs in there to like get you hyped, because season 3 is probably going to be more about the FEV. But yeah, phase 2. So my theory is that the vaults for the Fallout show vaults, right? The one Lucy is from, the other civilian vault, and then the cryo chamber. Those 2 vaults are probably the testing grounds for FEV. If not the testing grounds, then maybe some sort of inaction of, because here's the crazy thing. Right? So if the Enclave is controlling these vaults, if the Enclave is kind of somehow controlling the Vault-Tec vaults, there's definitely some sort of FEV plan for those 2 vaults. But what plan are we talking about? Right? It's not, yeah, Future Enterprise Ventures. It's not that. It stands for Forced Evolutionary Virus. So let's just say theoretically, right? The FEV virus has been in the show. It's capable of turning super mutants into super mutants, because we've seen a super mutant, right? I was wondering whether or not they were going to write the FEV out, but they didn't. We've seen a super mutant, and what that means is that the FEV virus has been developed to that point. So even if the Enclave releases FEV into these vaults as like a testing ground, what are they testing for? Are they trying to make super mutants intelligent? Because one of the things about the FEV virus is it turns a very small percentage of humans. Not every single human. So I'm interested to see what the show decides, if it's everybody or if it's just some people. Usually the FEV virus kills you. If it doesn't kill you, you turn into a super mutant, or fuse you with a tree. Sometimes it'll fuse you with a tree, but that's another thing entirely. If you survive it, you turn into a super mutant. And the thing with super mutants is they are basically like, theoretically, they're supposed to be the end evolution of humanity. They're these huge 8-foot-tall, green-skinned, very strong guys with no reproductive organs whatsoever, so they can't naturally reproduce. And they're in the modern Fallout lore, super mutants do not often retain their intelligence, right? They don't often retain their intelligence. They kind of devolve. Their brains devolve. Their bodies evolve, right? Their bodies are very tip-top super soldier type stuff, but their minds are not. The Space Marines of Fallout, if the Space Marines were like gibbering fools that just wanted to eat meat all the time and kill things. So in the modern, I think there's a divide here. I'm curious to see which path the show takes, because Fallout 1 and Fallout 2's FEV is very different, or not very different, but quite different from the modern Bethesda Fallout's FEV. Because in modern Bethesda, FEV makes you a super mutant, but it also makes you dumb as rocks, right? And if you're dumb as rocks and uncontrollable, you're not a good soldier. You're not a good... If you can't take orders, like the Enclave wants you to be able to take orders, right? So, do you think Thaddeus got hit with FEV to turn him into a ghoul? Oh, maybe. I have no idea. Thaddeus is also great. We'll talk about him. But essentially, in Fallout 1, there's a lot more super mutants, or not a lot, but there's different super mutants that kind of retain their intelligence outside of the Master's influence. I'm not talking about the Master's influence. In Fallout 1, the Master was the one that gave them the ability to think critically, kind of acting like a hive mind, like a neural network for the super mutants to actually think critically and be more aware of their surroundings. But once the Master is dead, the super mutants disperse, and apparently they lose their ability to think actively, right? So all of the super mutants you see on the East Coast are pretty much just non-intelligent. I think Fox is the only one. There's another one in Fallout 4. There's another intelligent super mutant that kept their rationale, right? Like, there are, in the modern Bethesda's, a couple super mutants that are intelligent, right? They're intelligent to the point that they could take orders. So maybe, here's my theory. The show is gonna... The Enclave wants to... Maybe they've handpicked the people in the vaults. Maybe they've handpicked the people in the vaults who are living there as civilians and have been breeding for hundreds of years, and they're inbreeding now, right? Because they're in a sealed vault, right? So they're starting to inbreed. But and the crazy thing is like sometimes they, like if inbreeding was a problem, you would just defrost some of the people from the Overseer Vault and put them in as civilians to introduce new genetic stock, right? But they don't do that. They don't do that typically. It's usually just overseers that get defrosted, which means that the Enclave or whoever's controlling Lucy's vault doesn't really care about whether or not they're inbred. In fact, that might be something preferable to the Enclave because they've chosen these people for some reason. So what I'm thinking is that they chose these people so that they can blast them with FEV, and maybe they'll turn into intelligent mutants. Maybe. Because the Enclave has no use for producing mutants unless it's to, A, get rid of the Brotherhood. That could be it, right? Like maybe the Enclave are just creating mutants to send to the East Coast to bring down the Brotherhood. That's possible. I could see that, right? But if the Enclave actually want to use the super mutants beyond that capacity as like as an annoyance to the, to the entire wasteland, then they would have to have some sort of control over the super mutants. Maybe that's where the remote controls come in. Oh! Wait a minute, I've cracked it. Sorry to everybody. I don't want you to get spoiled for Season 3, but I think I just cracked it. Yeah, if only there was some kind of technology the Enclave could use to bypass that problem by manually controlling their minds. Hey, guys. Sorry for the spoilers. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I've cracked it, man. The FEV produces a less effective strain the more irradiated the subject. Really? I had no idea. Humans from Vault Dwellers tend to be more intelligent. Really? I haven't seen that, Queen. Where are there any examples of that in the games? Hi, you guys. Welcome in. There are other uses for FEV than super mutants. The FEV from President Eden was for killing mutations using the water. That is true. I mean, you can probably tailor the FEV to do anything you want, right? So maybe the show will take that. Maybe the show will take that path where they're going to use the FEV and they've tailored it to do something. But in my experience, it's usually like the simplest and most elegant answer is usually the easiest one to think of. So maybe, in my opinion, I think that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna try and control the super mutants. I'm so glad I don't have to watch it now. Yay! I spared you guys. You guys don't have to watch a whole season because of me. Aren't you lucky? Knight, thank you for the 2 super. The original point of FEV was for super soldiers. Yes, I think we've learned that. Yes, thank you so much for the super. Yeah, it's from the first game from Mariposa. But we've seen it used in different ways, right? We've seen it used in different ways. In Fallout 3, President Eden was tailoring it to make it so that it could be a drinkable thing that would kill mutated strands of DNA. So we'll see. We will see. Yeah, I'm sure it'll go well. It worked well for the Master. Anyway, so I think Steph is part of the Enclave, or is becoming. She's going to become part of the Enclave eventually. And the FEV is going to be a big bad thing in Season 3. Most definitely. Okay, anyway, next slide. Okay, yeah, actually, we covered most of what I want to talk about on this slide. Okay, first of all, how cool was Norm? We'll talk about him. He's next, I think. Yeah, he's next. But I feel really bad for this lady. I feel really bad for this lady. I forget what her name is. Betty, I think. I feel really bad for her. Because she's a really good example of, like, what it would be like to actually be an overseer of a vault. Right? Like, she would not... It would not be a good time, man. You have to micromanage people. And then, like, if you do it wrong, they rebel. And, like, resources are short. Yeah, Betty's a really good... Usually we see overseers in Fallout in, like, the games and stuff where it's like, I'm the all-powerful overseer, and you do what I say. Like, we don't see much beyond that. But with Betty's point of view, we really do see just how tough it would be to keep a vault running for hundreds of years, right? She started out feeling evil, but now she just wants to fix the water problem. Yeah, I think all of the overseers that get defrosted from the overseer vault are probably a little bit morally bankrupt, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. But when you're in charge of a lot of people, it's kind of important. You know what I mean? Like, leading people is different than just leading them off a cliff, right? Like, keeping them alive. Her prerogative is to keep these people alive, presumably so that the phase 2 can begin. But it's interesting. She's on a moral. She's on like a. Her perspective is shifting, right? Like, all of a sudden she likes these people. She wants to keep them alive. Phase 2 comes in. She probably knows about phase 2. Definitely, like, the conversations that she has with Steph tells us that she knows about phase 2. And so the question is she going to go through with it, you know? Yeah, she is management, but, like, she is also one of them now, right? Like, the thing with being management is you're one of them, right? And, like, if she's not going to be exempt from getting FEV'd, I don't think. And I think she's starting to realize that. I think she's starting to realize that nobody is going to be exempt from phase 2 when it comes around. And so it's like, all right, well, not only is she trying to keep these people alive and feeling some sort of responsibility for them, it's almost like feeling responsibility for somebody makes you want to make sure that they're okay, you know? And Betty and Steph are, like, basically diametrically opposed in the way that they lead people. Like, Steph does it by fear, and Betty does it by, like, you know, acquiescing to their requests and, like, listening to them. And so they do, it's 2 different styles, and the question is which style will win out, right? Will Steph win or will Betty win? There's, like, so many plot lines that they did a really good job balancing it. Phase 2 is through the Enclave Pip-Boy that Hank had. She probably wouldn't have given it to Steph if she knew what was in it. Oh, do you think so? Well, the thing is, I think she would have given it to Steph even if she did know what was in it, because if she's trained by Vault-Tec, then Vault-Tec has a lot of ties with the Enclave, right? With the U.S. government before the bombs fell. So she would know to her place. She would know that they're at least part of it, right? And if Steph wanted something, Betty knows Steph by now, right? Like, Betty knows that whatever Steph wants, it's probably nothing good. It's probably for her to get, you know what I mean? Like, she gave that box because she was desperate. She knows, she probably, if she doesn't know what's in it, she probably knows what that thing inside could do, right? Yeah, it's a logistics nightmare. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're not open to outside resources. Yeah. I feel like overseers know just enough to understand their job, but aren't actually told anything important. Maybe. That's possible. It could be that some overseers were given more insight than others. Maybe Steph just has more enclave ties because she was married to Frank, sorry. Who is Frank? To Hank. That could also be the case, right? But Betty knows, like, there's no way you don't become an overseer at Vault-Tec and not know that the government has some kind of hand in it, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. Especially if you lived pre-war. Especially if you lived pre-war. Frank Oregon? There's one vault in Fallout 4 where they appoint the stupidest candidate possible? Really? Oh, yeah. I remember that one. Anyway. I feel really bad for Betty. Poor Betty. Pour one out for Betty. She's doing her best, man. All right, now we get to best boy. Hey guys, this is Norm. This is Norm. He is normal, everyone. Look, this is Norm and he is normal. He is very normal. He is overworked and underpaid. He's being overworked for a job he never signed up for, and he's being paid nothing. So he is the Fallout L Vegas. He is the FEV virus vehicle subplot. So what I mean by that is he is the character that's probably we're going to experience the FEV through him. Whatever phase 2 is, we're going to experience, through him, through his journey. Which means that I think he's going to have to beat out Steph and Betty. I think what's going to happen with Norm is he's going to come back to the vaults with help, hopefully. And he's going to have to oust Betty and Steph and become the overseer. Like, he is essentially primed. His whole character arc is like, nobody pays attention to Norm. You know, he's just like a little nerd that's typing on his computer or whatever. But he is primed to, like, I could see his character arc becoming the overseer, right? Like, he's definitely going to eventually. So I'm really excited for his arc. He goes through a lot of things. I feel really bad. He's very smart, right? In this season, he gets locked inside of a vault, inside of the cryo vault. And instead of like doing what the little robot wants him to do, who I think is Bud. I think the robot's Bud, right? Maybe a robo brain of Bud. But instead of doing what Bud wants him to do, he kills Bud, and the little robot, he kind of trashes him. I don't know if he's actually dead. And then he releases everybody inside of the cryopods. Essentially. Yeah, it's Bud in a jar. It's Bud Robobrain. It's cool that we saw Robobrain, but not the top, like the rest of the body, right? We only saw the top part. It's really interesting. So yeah, so we also saw Robobrain actually in, we saw another one inside of the vault, Hank's vault, where he was doing all the stuff that the woman's head that was keeping everything going. That is technically a Robobrain, I want to say. Because basically any technology that's used to preserve the brain and then use it as a cortex for machines, that is technically Robobrain. Yeah, you see Fisto. Yeah, hi Sato. Brother didn't have to wait until he was near starvation to kill him, but that's true. He could have just eaten the brain, man. Get some prions in there. Yeah, we never see a Robobrain with skin, but that doesn't mean that that's not a Robobrain, right? Like that, the technology is probably very similar. The technology you use to hook up a brain to a robot body is probably the exact same you use to hook up a head to like a processing unit, right? Like it's the same thing. She is technically a Robobrain. Yeah, it felt really bad. She was the one good government operative. I don't know if she was good. That's the thing. She was just like playing the long game, right? Like either she was, because she knew the president personally. She was in the limo when the ghoul handed over the cold fusion, which means that she was very high up in the government. So like, even though she had like a middling congresswoman title, like I think she was much more involved than she let on. And you know, that's Hank saw that as a betrayal, right? Like Hank saw it as a betrayal. And that's why he set her head up as the Robobrain. Maybe. I'm not sure who set her head up as a Robobrain, but Hank really hated her. You think she was controlled opposition? Maybe. But like the fact that she was trying to be a good guy and in the end like succumbed to the allure of like power is, I mean, she did, right? Like she did in the end. Either that or she went naively. I don't think you could be naive to that point, right? Like she definitely betrayed someone. I just don't know who. I did not read her as good at all. She was the template. Yeah, she was the template for the Hank. Every person mind wipe was given her personality. Oh, is that what that meant? Is that why? Oh, so she was hooked up to the mainframe and controlling them with her person. Oh, that is weird. I never noticed that. I thought they were just being like friendly and like normal guys. I thought they were just programmed to be friendly and normal. No, she didn't get out. Maybe she didn't get out of that car alive. I'm not sure. We don't know when she died, but it is interesting that her head was being used. I mean, that's a very personal thing. I think somebody who had a vendetta against her definitely set that head up, because that's not a nice way to live. You know what? Or you know what I mean? You know what? I didn't catch that either, but it makes a ton of sense. It does. She didn't control them. Her personality was transplanted because it's the type of person they wanted. Ah, just being used to implant her personality. Interesting. Huh. Yeah. I mean, in a way, it makes sense, right? Because she kind of represents the average person, the average compliant person, right? And the Enclave loves compliant people. So it makes sense, right? Like her biggest crime was her being compliant. She was doing what she thought was right. Again, she was serving her government, serving her country. That's what she thought was right. She was compliant until the very end, and that's what got her killed. Not necessarily because somebody was mad at her. Maybe they were for double-crossing them, but it's more likely, now that you guys mention it, it's more likely that she was killed and used as the template because she was compliant. That makes sense. I never thought about it like that. That's pretty cool. Lucy mind wiped him after the congresswoman was killed, so what template was applied to his brain? Oh, she was template personality. Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay. Hank mentions the brainwashing computer is reprogramming people with her instincts. Oh, I just heard reprogramming people. I didn't know it was with her instincts. That's so interesting. Yeah, the excuse stops working. That's very true. I think she's a good in the story. She represents like the people who are willing to comply. People are willing to comply. You know, and how dangerous that can be. Complying without thinking, right? Complying without critically thinking about the structure that you're complying with, you know? Tabula rasa. What's a tabula rasa? That sounds delicious. His name is Normal Guy. Yes. Anyway, this is Norm, everyone. He's Lucy's brother, right? I'm pretty sure he's Lucy's brother. So yeah, we're going to experience the FEV virus fallout, no pun intended, through him, which I'm really excited for. If he dies, I'll be very pissed. What I think is, guys, you want to know what's crazy? I have this headcanon that he's going to get turned into a super mutant. I know. I'm pretty sure, guys, he's going to get turned into a super mutant. I don't know why and I don't know how, but like his whole thing is he's a small guy, right? Like they picked him for a reason. Like he's small, he's skinny, you know, he's like overlooked, and like it would just be so poetic to have him become a super mutant, and then, you know what I mean? Don't jinx it, okay? Sorry. You know what I mean? And like maybe he retains his mind, like he will retain his mind, and then Lucy's not gonna recognize him. They called him Norm, guys, because he's gonna become super. They called him Norm because he's gonna become super. Holy shoot. Holy gosh darn it. Guys, I think I'm a genius. Yeah, too many Captain America. Yeah, Captain America Wasteland Edition. Oh my god, guys, I'm a genius. Super Norm. Anyway, he is normal, everyone, and I'm so excited to see him turn into a super mutant. I'm so excited. They're definitely gonna flex the prosthetics that they've learned on the ghoul. Like, the prosthetics team for the ghoul's makeup is incredible. It's really good. So I have no doubt that they are capable of making Norm into a super mutant. Yeah, 100 caps on, yeah. He's not gonna centaur, no way. Norm does sound like a super mutant name. It does, Turkeys. Hi, welcome in. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I'm excited to see what happens to Norm. I hope he doesn't die, though. I really like Norm. Okay, can we just talk about Barb? My last slide is about Barb, because I need you guys to explain something to me about Barb that I just don't understand. Prezzy, thank you so much for the 5 super. Vi and the Hotties are a hive mind. Are we? Hey, when did that happen? Whoa, I didn't notice that happening. Uh-oh. Thank you, Grezzy, for the support. I appreciate that. Thank you for warning me. Thank you. Okay, so. Barb. Norm is great. There's not much to say about him other than, like, the way that they revealed the FEV was really good. I really liked the slow buildup of Norm breaking out, them breaking into the building. You know, and then it's really interesting because Norm is surrounded by all of these overachievers, right? Norm is surrounded very suddenly by these pre-war people. Normal people, like people who don't understand that they think that the wasteland, the way that the people who have been thawed out treat the wasteland is like an amusement park, right? Like, the way that these people who have been defrosted step out in the world, it's like they're having a fun picnic, you know? Like, they're just here to visit. It's crazy because Norm has to wrangle these people. He has to lead these people in such a way where regular logic, regular survival wasteland logic, regular vault logic doesn't apply to them. They represent the players, kind of, yeah. Like, they still think Vault Tech is around, right? Like, and it might be, like, sanctioned by the Enclave or something somewhere. But, like, they still think that the Enclave, or Vault Tech matters, right? Like, they matter because there's someone in Vault Tech. But look around, there's no Vault Tech. And if there is, it's a very small sphere of influence. And so he has to navigate this weird social thing. It's like almost talking to aliens. It feels like talking to aliens sometimes when you watch Norm and the other defrosted overseers, like, or the Vault-Tec people. It's like he's talking to aliens, right? Like, it's wild. So anyway, he almost gets killed by them, but then the rad roaches save his life. And let me tell you, that rad roach scene was horrifying. I played all the Fallout games. I'm like, oh yeah, rad roaches, we can step on them. We can smash them, they're whatever. Those rad roaches were ripping people's throats out. It was horrifying. It was really scary. I was like, wow, I'm never gonna look at rad roaches the same ever again. Wasn't Vault-Tec headquarters new to the beginning of the Great War? Theoretically, yeah, but they might have holdouts underground, right? Like, they might, Vault-Tec is probably still alive in some capacity. We just don't know how. In both game and show. Yeah, it was very scary. She was low level in a high area, yeah. It was a missed opportunity. Oh, the Khazars would have been so good. That's such a good point, Storsky. Imagine if Khazars came out of there. Like, imagine if the ladies were like, oh, it's just rad roach. It's just the two old ladies. Oh, it's just our rad roach factory. And then Khazadors. That would have been so bad. I don't think Norm would have survived, though, is the problem. Yeah, they made rad roaches dangerous. Don't forget, Maximus nearly died to roaches while inside his PA. Oh, I remember that, Fruits. That was really scary. They're going to Colorado. Oh, really? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Fallout 5 is Skyrim Fallout. If Fallout goes to Colorado, it kind of makes sense, guys. Fallout 5 in Colorado. Because think about it. It's like West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. We're not going back to the East Coast again after Boston. I'm almost positive we're not going back to the East Coast after Boston unless it's like Florida or Georgia or something. Or like New Orleans. I want New Orleans so bad for Fallout 5, but we will see. They might do Colorado. They might do Fallout 5 Colorado. We'll see. We will see. But I don't think they're going to stay on the East Coast much longer for the games. Florida, man. Yeah. Denver is RoboDog Central. Oh, that's true. We saw that, didn't we? In Fallout 3, we saw that little tidbit. We talked about RoboDogs being in Denver. Or was that New Vegas? Yeah, that's New Vegas. Toronto? Ooh, they've never done a Canadian Fallout yet. Elder Scrolls 6 is in Colorado. God, that would be awesome. Yeah, I hope they put a Parthenax Easter egg on top of a mountain. That would be really cool. Okay, anyway, Barb. Anyway, I love Norman. I hope good things happen to him. Anyway, here's somebody who I hope bad things happen to. So, this is Barb. Everyone short for Barbara, I assume. She is the ghoul's wife, pre-war and still post-war. The ghoul is looking for his wife and his child, Janie. There's Janie. Janie is just chilling. She could be an adult. This is something to point out. It would be the ultimate ironic twist if Janie got uncryoed and grew up and got to be an adult, like Fallout 4 style with Sean. How crazy would it be if all of a sudden, like, Janie's an adult and working in the Enclave, right? Like, I don't know. I can just see them doing that because they're fricked up and evil. She could be the president. She could be the president. Exactly. Like, she could be the president. Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna pull a Sean Fallout 4 style where it's like, hey, my child is grown up now. I can just see it happening. Fallout Detroit. Oh. Janie is Enclave and Barb is super mutant. No, Barb's not a super mutant. I think Barb is probably still in cryosleep and I don't know. So Barb, right? Let's talk about Barb. I have absolutely no idea what her deal is. She helps the government Enclave drop the bombs, theoretically. She has the mother bear morality. So much like Hank, her and Hank are very similar, actually. I'm surprised they don't get along and talk more. But Barb has the mother bear mentality where she knows she is high up enough in Vault Tech that she knows the Enclave are going to drop the bombs, right? She knows that no matter what she does, the US wants to drop the bombs for some reason. We don't know why. I assume it's because of the FEV, but I don't know. We'll see. So the Enclave, the government, the US government wants to drop the bombs on itself. Okay? Not on anybody else. On itself. And we don't know why. But she knows they're going to drop them. And so in order to save her family, quote unquote, she wants to save her family, her husband, the ghoul, and Janie, who's not the ghoul. He's not the ghoul yet. I forget his name. In order to make sure that her family survives, she wants to be in on the ground floor of it so she knows what's going on at all times so she can protect her family. So she's thrown herself into the devil's gullet, essentially, and become the right hand of the devil to make sure that her family is safe. Cooper Howard. Thank you, Cooper. Coop! Coop! So I don't understand her mentality. I don't get it. If I knew that they were dropping bombs, I guess in a way, I can see it like she justifies what she's doing to protect her family. But for me personally, if I knew this was happening, I would, God, what would I even do? I don't know. See, that's the great thing about Fallout is, especially the show, it puts you in the shoes of these people and it asks you, all right, you're this woman who has a child and a husband. What do? You know the bombs are coming. What's your plan? What's your plan, big guy? Yeah, so she's helping the government and I guess that's all there is to it. I don't know if she's alive. I don't really don't know if they're alive or not. I want to say Janie's probably alive. I think Barb might still be in cryosleep, but Janie's definitely up and kicking. And she's grown up, I'm almost positive. Because that would be a really good twist, wouldn't it? It can't do anything, so she decided to join it. Yeah. Yeah, the conversation in the elevator. Barbara's motivated by her love for her kid, and Hank's motivated by power trip nonsense. Well, here's Here's why they are similar, actually. Is because Frank thinks that what he's doing is for love. They are the same. Barbara does love her kid. Barbara loves her kid and her husband. Hank loves Lucy too. Everyone's definition of love is different. In his mind, Hank is not power tripping. At all. He thinks it's for love. Whether or not it actually is up for debate. I mean, who are we to say, again, like, love is a human emotion that's defined different ways by different people. Hank is convinced he's doing it for love in his mind. So is he not? Now we have to have this whole talk about, is love real? Is love real, or is love just a perception? But we won't get into that. Anyway, yes, they both think the ends justify the means, and they also both think they're doing it for love. That is, they are very similar in that regard. They're both family guys. Looking in a family guy. Na 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 na. Anyway, Peter Griffin in Fallout would go crazy. So, hi Maka. Hank is the classic villain who thinks he's the hero of the story trope. Yeah, he's definitely delusional. He's definitely, no matter what. I mean, again, Barb is delusional too. Like, Barb is just as delusional. Like, does she think that helping them will make her immune to the Enclave taking a, you know what I mean? Helping them does not guarantee your safety. That's the thing, right? That's the thing with the Enclave. That's the thing with any large group of people. Helping them doesn't necessarily guarantee your individual safety. It never does. Peter, the Cazadors is here. Peter, the Cazadors are here. Oh my god. But yeah, so she's just as delusional, right? Like, there's no guarantee. She's working to get guarantees. But even if they do promise her a guarantee, there's no guarantee that they'll follow up on the guarantee. Because they're the Enclave. They'll do what they want. So, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if Barb is likable. I don't think she's... It's really hard for me to have sympathies for Barb. I am sympathetic. Her situation sucks. But the way she's choosing to go about it is naive. It is naive at its core. It's hopeful. I don't begrudge her the hope, but it's naive. She's saying that, oh yeah, if I help them enough, they'll definitely, you know, give my family passports into the vault. They didn't! Spoiler alert! Your husband's a ghoul. Spoiler alert, they dropped the bomb at a random time. Remember at the beginning of season 1 where we saw, like, they're at the cowboy party and, like, the bombs fall in LA? Spoiler alert. None of that happened. They dropped the bombs anyway. They didn't protect your kids. They didn't protect your kid. They didn't protect your husband just because you helped them. So, I don't know, man. She worked for all of that and then this, you know what I mean? Anyway, I just don't, I don't have a lot of sympathy for her. I have sympathy, I just don't have empathy, I guess. I don't understand where she's coming from because it is, Brian would be a Deathclaw, true. Brian would be a Deathclaw, Stewie would be a Centaur, probably. Stewie, what are you doing working with the Institute? They're insane! Brian, you absolute nincompoop. The Institute are the finest minds in the wasteland. They built giant robot gorillas. Yeah, protecting Janie was a time quest, precisely. What are her other options? I don't know, Han. But, like, she doesn't have many options, but also, like, choosing to make it worse? Like, choosing to make it worse. Right? She's choosing that. If you knew the bombs were dropping, how far would you go to make sure your family got into a shelter is definitely an interesting question. Yeah, I do like the question they pose with her. I do like that. But, like, it also answers... That question is answered in Season 1, Episode 1, when the Ghoul and Janie are just in... There's an explosion. Like, they drop the bombs on LA, and the Ghoul and Janie are in hot water, right? Like, I don't know. Let's make worse. Yeah. Oop got arrested by the Huac. Maybe she has to go along to save him? What's the Huac? Stewie would be the master. Have you Barb similar to John Marston? Who's that? Doing horrible things for the hope of better things for the family and having some horrible and deserved fate at the end of the road. Oh yeah, she's not... I don't think Barb's coming out of this, man. Like, she is... It's different I don't know. There's something about Barb that is off, right? And like even the ghoul knows it. She's keeping secrets from even him, and she's keeping secrets from the audience until the very end, right? And when she reveals those secrets, I don't know if it will be enough. I think she will get justice. Justice is coming, right? So we'll see. Plot twist, maybe she's dead. Maybe she's dead. Barb's gonna be a glowing one? I don't know. Just get into a fridge to survive the bombs like that one kid. Yeah, that's what Maximus did. They had like a fridge moment. They had like a Fallout 4 ghoul fridge moment, which was really interesting. In Fallout 4, there's a kid in the fridge that hides in the fridge for like, I don't know. And so they referenced it with Maximus. I thought it was really interesting. Yeah. Ooh, ghoulification would be really rough, yeah. I don't know, something bad's gonna happen. You just know it. She's too deep in it, man. She's too deep in it. And stories, if you get too deep in it, you gotta be punished for it, no matter how good your intentions are. Yeah, Billy. Yeah, it was really sad. Oh, I didn't know that that's what it stood for. Interesting. Yeah, Hollywood actors. Him being an actor is definitely a big part of it. You think Barb's already dead? Nah, she's definitely alive. We still need answers from her. What if she might be a super mutant. Maybe. You guys are convincing me. I'm coming around. She might be a super mutant. Yeah, Billy. Barb and Hank are the same. They both have to face consequences. Very true. The fridge surviving originates from Indiana Jones, doesn't it? I don't know where it originates from, Ta. I have no idea. Wild Wasteland, they made fun of the fridge. Oh, yeah! I forgot about that. Yeah, in Fallout New Vegas, the fridge thing is kind of lampshaded. It's from Indiana Jones? Really? I thought it was from, like, a 1950s belief that you could survive in the fridge. And then Indiana Jones might have picked up on that, but... You think they'll use CGI to buff her up for super mutants or use makeup? Probably, definitely makeup. The prosthetics team is really good in this show. Like, they're gonna pop off with the prosthetics. I'm really excited. It's from the original script to Back to the Future, actually. Surviving by being in a fridge is from Indy. Oh, it does come from Indiana Jones. Oh, I always thought it was from, like, disaster preparedness, where it's like, all right, your fridge can save you. Get under the desk, the fridge can save you. They Nuke the Fridge is kind of the modern version of They Jumped the Shark. Yeah, it comes from Indiana Jones. Okay, I didn't know that. I had no idea. Huh, interesting. I'm not saying they're dumb back then. I'm just saying... That's why the New Vegas fridge has a fedora. Ah, that makes sense. You guys are teaching me. Alright. Alright. Very cool. I had no idea. I've never seen a single Indiana Jones movie. Never in my life. I saw the Lara Croft movies. My wolf mom really liked the Lara Croft movies. So we watched those a lot. Anyway, yeah, this is Barb. I hope Janie's chill. I hope Janie's alright. I hope she's not like a super evil villain. I don't know. Janie, I feel really bad for her, man. That's why I drew a frowny face, because she's got the stick end of it. Her mom is Barb and her dad is the ghoul. Oh my god. Like, she's got a big problem. She's got a big legacy to live up to, man, and not in a good way. Hi, Monkfish. Hi. What do you mean, what? Wait, what? Yeah, don't Sean Janie, please. Have we covered the Legion? No, we can talk about the Legion. So we talked a little bit about it. I don't think there's really much to discuss there. The Legion, I think... the Legion is such a footnote in all of the plot lines that are going on that I don't know where the show is going to go with them. I think because the main characters are moving east, that means we're probably going to either see more of the Legion or less of them. I'm not sure how far east we're going. But Caesar's Legion does, or at least used to, before Caesar died, control a lot of the land east of the Colorado River. So it depends. I mean, right now, theoretically, the party is traveling through Legion territory, but it depends on how many years have passed since Caesar's passing. If a lot of years have passed, then the Legion's control over that land has probably weakened and ceded. So it just depends. We will see. Yeah, Macaulay Culkin as Caesar, I think, works. It does work. I can't wait for some Home Alone references. I'm really excited for some spike traps or something. They had the red as they were leaving Vegas. I imagine the whole Legion was a reference movie. Yeah, they're leaving Vegas. Oh, they're marching into Vegas at the end of season 2. Oh, are they? I thought they were leaving. I thought they were going east. Because they're going to Colorado. Right? Because everybody was like going, like the ghouls going to Colorado. So I assume that the other ones are going to Colorado too. Yeah, Joshua Graham season 3, please. Please, 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 please. I would love to see a Joshua Graham. And I know exactly who should play him. Joshua Graham, played by the guy who did Stranger Things. What's his name? Vecna. Stranger Things Vecna guy. Joshua Graham. Easy. Easy, done. Somebody scary. Somebody scary looking. And even scary with prosthetics on. Danny DeVito would have made a better Terminator. Very true. Mods, crown that guy. No one else knows about Colorado except House. Oh. Willem Dafoe? Yeah, honestly, I think Willem's a bit too old now. But yeah. No, not Nicolas Cage. Absolutely not. You guys are talking about old people. Seeing Macaulay Culkin made me burst out laughing. Yeah, it was really good to see him. I was like, whoa, okay, I guess you're Caesar now. I got my hands on a 360 copy of Oblivion. Ooh, enjoy, Pyro. Welcome in. Hi. Yeah, you wouldn't notice it. I mean, the thing is, too, it has to be an actor who's okay with having most of their face covered. And a lot of them are not okay with that, as far as I've heard. But it has to be someone okay with having their face covered for a lot, and I mean a lot of the filming. We are old? You guys aren't that old, though. You guys know about young people, young actors, right? Joshua Graham is old now. Well, he's not super old. Like, I would say he was probably, like, early 40s in the original New Vegas. So, like, maybe 50. That's not super old. Real question is, who would Jim Carrey be if he was in the show? Oh, a super mutant, obviously. Welcome in. Definitely a super mutant. Jim Carrey would be a super mutant 110%. No, you guys aren't old. No way. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Daniel Radcliffe? Daniel Radcliffe as Joshua Graham? I think he's too British. I don't know if Joshua Graham recites a lot of Bible verses in like very flat American dialect. Powerful dialect. Powerful voice, but it's a very flat American dialect. He does have Rad in his name, true. Carl Urban, who is that? Boss is coping about her age because she is in her 50s. What? That's why your mom loves me. That's the best comeback I can think of. My brain is Fallout fried. That's why your mom loves me, because I'm in my 50s. Wank. Billy the Butcher. Daniel Radiation Cliff. No. I mean, okay, you guys are just saying Daniel Radcliffe because Joshua Graham got pushed off a cliff, aren't you? Daniel Radcliffe got pushed off a cliff, or not Daniel, sorry. Joshua Graham got pushed off a cliff, and that's why you guys want Daniel Radcliffe for it, is because Cliff's in his name, huh? You sickos. You sickos. I was born in the 50s, boss. No, you weren't, biggest. Please go back to sleep. If you were born in the 50s, go back to sleep. Go back to bed. Eat your soup. Take your dentures out. Go to sleep. It'd be really funny if they made Chris Pratt voice a literal rat that gets torched for no reason in particular. Oh, interesting, Pyro. I don't know if Chris Pratt would do very well in Fallout. I don't think I really want him in Fallout. He doesn't strike me as a Fallout guy. I think you do a pretty good American accent if you've seen the movie Horns. I have not seen the movie Horns. Permanent rest. No, Ball Grader. I didn't say permanent rest. I just said go lay down. It's the ones with the pew-pews stuck to both hands. Are we being sentenced to soup? No, I swear I'll be better. Yeah, you guys have talked back too much. You guys didn't say good opinion, boss, every time I said something. So now you get soup. And you'll enjoy it. Put Fallout Boy in Fallout. Wrong. Incorrect. Yeah, I think, Cricket, pull out the emergency actor Adam Sandler is kind of important, guys. Who would Adam Sandler... We've talked a lot about the show. I've told you all of my opinions. I've told you all of the things that I think about media and movies and shows and all that good stuff. But I think the real important question here is, who would Adam Sandler be in the Fallout show? And why? I got to watch the Vylett show on my computer TV. Cute. We pin that. We pin that. Guys, can we have a shirt that's just an old man's face that says that? I got to watch the Vylett show on my computer TV. Old man face, like the oldest man face. Harold. Oh, Harold would be good. Harold might be good. Adam Sandler is Harold. Oh, Benny. Guys, who would be Benny? That's an even better question. I think Adam Sandler would be the comedian that's on the strip that just tells really great jokes. The guy that's like, hey, uh-oh. Adam would be No Bark. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would go crazy as merch. Yeah. I think Adam Sandler should play every character. Adam Sandler would be a ghoul with dementia that the ghouls try to help. Just a ghoul wandering around in slippers and a big t-shirt. Ooh, Woody Harrelson. No, I think for Benny. Oh, God. Benny's such a niche pick, guys. Who would be Benny? Matthew Perry. Oh, Matthew Perry would be such a good Benny. Yeah, rest in peace, Matthew Perry. You would have been such a good Benny. God, that's the perfect pick. I mean, Jim Carrey... Listen, we made jokes about Jim Carrey, but Jim Carrey could probably pull off a Benny. If he just turned down the dial by, like, I don't know, 25%, he could probably pull off a Benny. Oh, Matthew Perry was Benny? Well... well, there you go. I mean, in the live action. Rob Schneider as Benny. Who's Rob Schneider? That. Let me look up Rob Schneider. Hold on. I'm face blind. Apparently. Schneider. Oh, yeah. Rob Schneider as Benny. Yeah, no, I can see it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Rob Schneider as Benny. I can see it. No, not Scarlett Johansson. Not Scarlett Johansson. Definitely not her. Steve Buscemi. Steve, I think Steve's eyes are a little bit... No, he's too intense. Benny's not that intense. His eyes are too intense. Jason Sudeikis. Who's that? Now I'm just looking... You're forcing me to Google men. You understand that, right? I'm Googling men. Is this not... Oh my God. Is this not that guy? Hey guys, is this not... What's his name? Hold on, you're about to get man jump scared. Is this not the tired cigarette man? I forget his name. Tired cigarette man. Ben Affleck? There he is. Yeah, it's Ben Affleck. Is this not Ben Affleck? That's literally Ben Affleck. David Spade. Ooh, actually, I know who David Spade is. For some reason. Yeah, he would be... I think he'd be a great Benny. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? No? That's not tired... This isn't Ben Affleck? Are you serious? Face blindness strikes again. Olivia Wilde's ex. Is that what he's famous for? I love that Ben Affleck is tired. I couldn't remember what he's in. Stop making fun of me. I couldn't remember what he was in. I just remember from the tired cigarette man meme. That's Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso? Oh, I haven't seen this. Why is his name Lasso? Does he lasso people? Lasso, sorry. You guys are making me... Hey. My patience for Googling random men is running thin, so you guys better give me some bangers. Carl Urban as Boone. Okay. Carl Urban. Well, he'd have to shave his head. Yeah, maybe. Oh, you're saying you want this as Boone? Hold on. I just found something. Hey, the hotties think this should be Boone. Apparently the hotties... I mean, You know, he definitely fits some IP. Hold on. All right, guys, can you imagine? Boone. There he is. Carl Urban as Boone with a shaved head. Yep, that's him. That is him, you're right. How could I have not seen it before? John Ciana. Who's John Ciana? Glenn Powell? Boone is Jason Statham. Yeah, that's literally him, guys. Jason. That's literally Boone already. True. Jason Statham. Oh, yeah. Jason Statham is Boone 100%. I mean, this is... Well, I mean, let's have the hotties vote on it, shall we? Let's have the hotties vote on it since you're so since your opinions... I'm listening to your opinions right now. You're so lucky that I'm listening to your opinions. Which one is the better Boone? We're gonna put it to the test. Which one, hotties? Which one do you... Actually, not which one is the better Boone. Which one would you prefer? Which one would you prefer? Now, you can choose both, but you have to give me reasons why. Which one for Boone? Jason Statham or Carl Urban, sorry. Nicolas Cage. No, that's not a choice. Jason has the right face shape. Jason is too British. Oh, is he British? Jason because his face shape. Yeah, he's got the right face shape, but he is very British. Carl. I think as bald men, as far as bald men go, I feel like Jason Statham kind of wins this one. I'm not gonna lie. Statham, can he not do an American accent? Can he not? I just found the most unhinged picture I've ever seen, but I'm not gonna post that. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine. Anyway, I'm looking at pictures of random guys, and I don't really appreciate this. Okay, one more random man. You guys can force me to Google one more random man. Hear me out, Vin Diesel. Ooh. Diesel. What was that, Riddick, the Chronicles of Riddick guy? Chronicles of Riddick. Is that Vin Diesel? Oh, yeah, wait a minute. Hey, we didn't consider... Hey, we didn't consider the most important guy. Hey, everyone. We did not consider... We did not consider this man. I think that's on us. I think we need to shape up or ship out. We did not consider this chestnut. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Okay. Hold on, let me show you. There's a third contender. Oh, it's really small. I just love his little wraparound goggles so much. It looks like he's about to go swimming. Let's go swimming. It's so good for you. Let's go swimming. When the sky is blue, pretty flowers need the sun. Flies to everyone. I could see Vin Diesel as Joshua Graham. Oh, maybe. That's actually not a bad idea. Yeah, the goofy goggle. Now get a recent pic of Vin Diesel. I'm sure he's fine. Vin Diesel. I'm sure he's chilling. There are no recent pics. Any recent pics? Ooh. They all look the same to me. It's bald guy. Bald guy, big arm. Mr. Uncle, thank you for the super. But who plays who in the Muppets Fallout New Vegas? Oh, I forgot about the Muppets New Vegas coming out. Guys, what if the new Fallout game they're working on is the Muppets version of New Vegas? Yeah, I mean, Miss Piggy is obviously... Who is Miss Piggy, actually? Who is Miss Piggy? Hermit has to be House. Hermit has to be House. Yeah, I would play the heck out of it. I would play the heck out of it too. All bald guys look the same, but that's not what I said. I'm just saying all of his pictures look the same. I think Statham's stubble fits Boone, and Vin Diesel is always so shaven like a human egg. Yeah, that's his style. Miss Piggy as Caesar. Yeah, Kermit is Mr. House. Miss Piggy is Caesar. I think we're cooking. Gonzo is Yes Man. No, Rizzo is Yes Man. Rizzo, sorry. Sorry, but Rizzo's Yes Man. Gonzo is someone else. Gonzo is Benny, honestly. It would be funnier that way. No, Rizzo. Okay, wait. Rizzo is Benny. Gonzo is Yes Man. No, you're right. You were right the first time. Yeah, you guys were right. You guys were right. Rizzo is Benny. Gonzo is Yes Man. The good thing about Muppets is I can tell them apart. Yeah, true. Different from regular actors. I can tell Muppets apart because they have, you know, distinctive Muppet features. Follow New Vegas where everyone's a Muppet except No Bark, who goes on rambling about everyone actually being human. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Potato Head is Raoul. Who's the NCR? The NCR doesn't really have a figurehead. President Kimball doesn't really, you know, he's not really a character. He's there for maybe 1 or 2 quests. Easy Pete equals Fozzie. No, I think Easy Pete's Monster, whatever the drummer guy is. I think his name's just Drummer, right? Oh, Animal. Yeah, that's his name. Animal as the ghoul. Yeah. Animal is Easy Pete. Animal is the ghoul. Swedish Chef is the NCR president. Correct. President Kimball. And then Raoul. Yeah, Raoul is a Muppet. Yeah. But he's voiced by Danny Trejo. Obviously, Meteor. We would never change that. Meep as the NCR president. Uh-huh. What about the 2 critics? What about the 2 critic guys? The 2 critic. Oh, that would be. Who would that be? Gotta be somebody. The Boomers, maybe? I'm throwing a bomb down. I thought you did that last week. Oh! Dr. Honeydew is Arcade? Oh, they're the Enclave. They be Mr. New Vegas? Ah. Mick and... Oh, perfect. Critic guys are Mick and Ralph. All right, well. Hotties, I think we've solved Fallout. Not only did we talk about the show today, but we solved Fallout. We solved it. We saw no more remakes, okay? No more Fallout 5. What we have created here is worth $1 trillion bajillion dollars. They say that the video game industry is $1 billion industry. We've just made it a bajillion dollar industry just now. That's right. We beat Fallout. Oh my god. What if Statler and Waldorf are just Mr. House together? That would be insane. Yeah, Beaker is dog meat. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sam the Eagle is Boone. Correct. Yes. Yeah, Muppets solved, guys. I am, for one, ready for our new Fallout babies overlords. Hey, guys. Thanks so much for listening to me yap about the Fallout show for 3 straight hours. Did this give you guys a glimpse into my twisted mind? I got really acoustic about it. I really apologize. But I got all of my thoughts out that I was thinking. And I've been thinking about it for so long since I saw the show like 2 weeks ago. I hope you had fun listening to me acoustically ramble about the Fallout show. I really do love Fallout as an IP. I think it's really exciting. I think it's really fun. I think the sheer amount of stories in Fallout is remarkable. We always get little plot lines here and there in the games. And I think the show, as many plot lines as there are, I think it does a good job of balancing them as well as it can. Fallout is an IP that's made up of the stories of the Wastelanders, you know? Different perspectives. I'm still sort of drooling, but also strangely feel smarter. Wow! Your IQ went up listening to me? Oh, heck no. It better not have. I need you ooped. Otherwise, you're going to start demanding rights. Go watch the first 3 Indiana Jones films. Not without you guys. I don't think I'll ever watch an Indiana Jones movie without you guys. I need to be held at, like, gunpoint. It's not that I don't like the movies. They were never really... Like, the Indiana Jones does not appeal to me at all. So you guys are going to have to strap me to a chair and force my eyelids open to watch that, I think. It made me want to watch Your Eternity. What's that? The first one is good. That's what everybody says about every series. The biggest thing I learned from this stream is that boss is always correct. Thank you. Finally, somebody with a real takeaway. Ever seen Clockwork Orange? I sure hope it does. Clockwork Orange? Yeah, I sure hope it does. Yeah, it could be an interesting watch along. So, oh yeah, I want to show you guys the surprise thingy. That's right. Let me show you. I have a surprise for you. Hehe. Totomate. Totomate. I have a surprise for you. Na 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 na. Okay, where is it? I gotta find it. Okay. Yes. Okay, now I can only show you one half of it and not the other half. Are you ready, honeys? Eh, eh, eh. Eh, eh, eh. Night, thank you for the 2 super. If boss wants us ooped, is she actually the Enclave? Yes, I am. I'm evil. You caught me. Thank you for the support. Ta-da! This is a spoiler. Ta-da! He's running, look. I have a new cover coming out. Ha ha ha! I have a new cover coming out. Possibly tomorrow. I think I really do want to release it tomorrow. I've been working really hard on it, hotties. It's a surprise for you. Yeah, it's an idol song, but I feel like the song means a lot to me. The lyrics really mean a lot to me. And it's a representation of my journey thus far as your Wolf Knight boss. The song really fits well with that journey. And so I'm really excited to show it to you guys. I'm going to put a waiting room up after this stream's over. But I mixed it myself. I sang it. I mixed it myself. I did all the artwork for the music video, and I animated the music video myself. And I'm really excited to show it to you. Yeah, it's a hand-drawn animated music video for you guys. Better be grateful. Anyway, that's me running. I'm running. Whee! I'm going. I'm going. Doodle, thank you for the 2 super. I've never seen anything cuter. Wrong. Baby monkeys. Baby dogs. Baby dogs with full bellies. Cuter. Thank you, though. I appreciate that. But yeah, I've worked really hard, and I'm really excited to show it to you tomorrow. And it's gonna be really awesome. And that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, you guys gotta look forward to Monday now. Yeah, I'm really proud. I know, you guys have been so absolutely lovely to me, and supported me so much. I could definitely afford a professional mixer, and a professional artist, and a professional music video person. But the amount of joy I get from producing all of this myself and showing you what I'm capable of is invaluable to me. I want to show you guys me. I want to make it for you. I don't want anybody else to make stuff for you. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody drawing me. My music videos... Is that weird? I don't want anybody else... Sometimes, maybe. But I want to show you guys how much I've improved. And how much work and heart I put into these things. So... Yeah. Yeah. Thanks to you guys, I definitely could do everything very professionally. But... I like being shitty. I really like... My skills are fine. They're fine. I could always improve. I like improving. The journey is really fun for me. So, I hope that you guys get to see the fruits of that journey. And... I enjoy being in a world of very polished, beautiful music videos. I enjoy being just a funny little guy. You know what I mean? So I'm really proud of this one. It's the best mixing I've ever done. It's still not professional level, but it's the best mixing I've ever done. It's the hardest Japanese I've ever sang as well. Like, this was a really difficult Japanese song, for me at least. And all of the art was really, really fun to do, and all the animation was really fun to do. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm releasing it tomorrow after stream. I'll put a premiere room up for it on YouTube. If you guys are interested, go check out my YouTube channel. There'll be a premiere room for it. I gotta make a thumbnail tonight. But yeah, I finished it, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. Yeah! Looking forward to it. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Yeah, I like being stinky. It's 100% me. Yeah, that's the thing. I really do like professional covers. I think they're lovely. But I take a vicarious pleasure in forcing you guys to listen to me warble and watch my silly little drawings. Yeah, I'm glad that I can present you guys something that's 100% me. You know what I mean? And I hope that you can see the improvement as I go through the journey. That's the big thing for me. I want you guys to see that I am improving and I am getting better. Hopefully. Maybe I'm getting worse, but that's part of the fun too, you know? Kazi, thank you for the 5. Just as advice, read Clockwork Orange, don't watch the movie. Ah, that's right, it's a book, isn't it? Thank you, Krazy. Yeah, I've heard good things about the book. It's a tough read, though, obviously. It's like a dystopian, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's a surprise for you guys. I forced you to listen to me for 3 hours. And that's your reward, is that you get to see a music video done by me tomorrow. Yay! Yay! Yeah, I enjoy doing it. Yeah, I enjoy all parts of it. Drawing, the mixing. Movie is hard to watch. Oof, okay. Thanks, 626. Books are horrifying. All those words. Yeah, your guys' intelligence score has taken a dip since you... Your guys' intelligence went from, like, I want to say, like a 5 on a good day, and now it's gone down to a 3 because you listened to me yap for 2 hours, 3 hours. 1 intelligence point for every hour you listen to me yap. Oof. I sure hope you can pass all your speech checks tomorrow, Hotties, at work. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Brain. I appreciate that. Yeah, you didn't take the comprehension perk. I love that VTubers have essentially brought back MTV via music video covers. Yeah. I don't know. There's something charming about, you know, doing it all yourself. You know, the spirit, the punk spirit, so to speak. Yeah, they're Fallout numbers. Don't worry. They're not D&D numbers. Yeah. 5 on a scale of 1 to 5. No, 5 out of 10. Lamoro, thank you so much for the tip. This was a lively and thought-provoking yap. Thank you for letting us share with you today. Thank you, Lamoro. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much for your support. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I get a little nervous sharing my opinions because I know that, you know, opinions are something that riles people up. But I can't hold back my opinions about the things I care about. So, just know that I'm just one guy, man. I'm just a guy, and if you really hated my opinions, it's okay. It's okay. That's all right. Go get ice cream. It'll be okay. But yeah, thank you for letting me be honest and sharing my full... You guys got the brunt of my full, unadulterated acoustics today. Fallout acoustics. But thank you. Thank you for enduring that. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Lamoro, for the tip. Arigato. It's good to hear that you enjoyed it. I was worried. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you so much for the support. Arigato. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just a guy who's also a wolf who's also a knight. Yeah. Road Rules VTuber version. I wonder if the stream was a secret Vault-Tec experiment. It was, actually. Just don't talk about Transformers. Okay, I won't. I'll never do that again. I promise. I promise. Place I'd rather be. Thank you, guys. Well, now I'm feeling shy, so... Now I'm feeling shy. Thanks for letting me stand on my soapbox and yap about Fallout today, guys. I genuinely really appreciated it. Spending, again, quality time is my... That's my love language, so thanks for being here. I really appreciate that. Yeah! Anyway, whatever. You guys are fine or whatever. Hi, Jal. You're a cool dude. I'd never be afraid to share your opinions. You'd be surprised by how many people want to hear them and agree. Thank you, Jal. You guys don't have to agree. I just appreciate the fact that you guys listened. That was really nice of you. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. My schedule is going up soon. I'll see you guys tomorrow for Daggerfall. We got a full week ahead of us. I'm giving you a little preview. But we have Daggerfall tomorrow, and then we're going to be making Hanami Dango. Do you guys know Hanami Dango? Hold on. Because it's kind of spring-coated, guys, spring is... I can feel it. Spring is springing. We're going to be making Hanami Dango, which is these thingies. Hold on. These thingies. Those kind of look like toes. What the hell? Ah! When it's cut off like that, it look like toes. Okay, there we go. Anyway, yeah, these are Hanami Dango. They're tricolored Dango. So we're gonna be making those together. Yeah! This week. I've ordered all the ingredients. And it's gonna be really fun, I think. I needed special rice flour. So I got special rice flour for the Dango. Dantos! Yeah, PD Dango. So we're gonna be making, I have a hand cam this week. We're gonna be making those. And I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah! Yeah! And we got some collabs too, which should be really fun. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go now because it's Sunday night and you need to get to sleep. Thanks for letting me yap your ears off. I really appreciate that. And I'm not shy. I'm not feeling shy right now. I'm just saying goodbye to you because it's time to go and I'm not feeling shy or anything. Okay, I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go now. Thanks for listening to me. I'm sorry. I'm having like post-yap clarity. I yapped a lot. Thanks guys for listening. I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna raid you out, Casey, and we're gonna tame it for the rest of your night. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I'll check you guys tomorrow for Daggerfall or whenever. I'll catch you this week. Have a great Monday. Get some rest. Try to go to sleep early. Get some food in you. Take a nice shower. And take it one step at a time. You got this. Yeah, I know Mondays are scary, but it'll be okay. Yeah, we have each other. Okay. Take care, everybody. I'll see you later. Goodbye, Kraszy. Goodbye, Turkeys. Goodbye, Night. Goodbye, Saw. Goodbye, Starsky. Goodbye, Trillian. Goodbye, Top Gear. Goodbye, 626. Goodbye, Cran. Goodbye, ABC. It's good to see you, ABC. I'm sorry if I didn't say hi to you guys. Hi, welcome in. But it's good to have you here. Goodbye, ABC. Goodbye, Baron. Hi, Baron, too. Goodbye, Bormo. Goodbye, Cran. Goodbye, Kano. I'll check you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Say this last one with me. I know you know it. Bye. Bye. Oh yeah, Sumi.